Tuesday night, 8:33. Closest to 8:30 we've been in a while. It's time for a hockey happy hour coming at you only on A2D radio. Tonight we got Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I think this is our first live game reaction of the series. And it's a big one. It's a big one. No Keith Tkachuk tonight for the Florida Panthers, so it's going to leave a lot on the table for the Florida Panthers tonight, who are in pure desperation mode. We're also going to talk about Conn Smythe. We're going to talk about some other things. So, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's talk some Stanley Cup Final Game 5.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Hockey Happy Hour. We are live on A2DRadio.com, and as Bryce said earlier, our first live reaction of the series. It is Game 5. It is a 3-1 series lead for the Vegas Golden Knights, who are trying to win the cup. It is in their building, and it can be theirs when it's all said and done. However, though, the Panthers would like to push this just 2 more games deep and try to get it to a full 7 in order to try and make it possible for them to be able to win the cup in the Golden Knights building, if that's possible for them. But it's got to start somewhere, and tonight's the night for them to try and get the ball rolling, which they have not been able to do at all really in this series. But we welcome everybody once again to the Hockey Happy Hour live here on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal over at Specialized Physical Therapy. If you got any aches and pains that are bothering you so bad, in fact, that it's making your personal life and your professional life, doing your job and what have you, making it a real chore, listen, best thing for you to do is to not just settle with it and say, it is what it is. Go to the doc. Reach out at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com, make an appointment, and then head to one of his highly trained professional teams over in Burlington or Cherry Hill, New Jersey. They got a great staff in both locations, and they'll take care of any aches and pains in personal life, and you can get back to being very efficient and very productive at the job. All right, and our poll question, once again, brought to you by Baggio's Bread. If you're having a Stanley Cup party here in Jersey, then what better place to go than to Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Mention A2D Radio for 10% off of your in-store purchase, and have yourself some good food while you watch some hockey. And the poll question for tonight is, Jonathan Marchessault will win the Conn Smythe Trophy. Agree or disagree? As we all know, Marchessault has been no small part in the Golden Knights getting to this point, and he has been on fire in this series alone. So, gentlemen, I leave it out to you. Vegas, by the way, with a power play, nothing is the score with about 11:30 by my count here. In the game. So, gentlemen, agree or disagree? Marchessault winning the Conn Smythe.
Who would like to go first?
I'll jump in there, boys. I think it's a slam dunk. I think I agree. I mean, I come into this show thinking, it's got to be Adin Hill, right? I mean, like the Vegas Golden Knights wouldn't be here without him stepping up for all of the injuries that they've had between the pipes and playing good, solid hockey. More than that, putting up really good stats during his 15-game run. Just looking quickly at that. Yeah, I mean, 211 goals against and a 934 save percentage. That's a lot more than actually just adequate goaltending. So that was actually my instinct going in. But if you look at Marchessault, the key thing is in the first 7 games of this year's playoffs, 0 goals. And now the Ford has 13 goals in the past 14 games entering tonight's contest, Game 5. I mean, how do you not give it to this guy? He's tied, he's either of his 13 goals, 3 have tied a game, 6 have given Vegas a lead, and he's had 3 game-winning goals. I'm always a fan of rooting for a potential guy that's not on the winning squad for the Stanley Cup to take home that Conn Smythe. We haven't seen that since your boy Jean-Sebastien back with Anaheim. What was that, 2006?
2003.
Oh, 2003. Right. So we haven't seen it
Giguere.
in about 20 years. But I think having Tkachuk out tonight kind of puts a little dagger in those, especially if Vegas goes on and takes the cup.
Yeah, no, for sure, Robbie. And that's, like I said in the intro here, it's huge not having Tkachuk in the lineup. He's been Florida's heart and soul. Just like to where I agree with the poll that Marchessault is going to be the Conn Smythe winner. Marchessault has been the heart and soul of this Vegas team, especially in the second half of the playoffs. And to add on to what you were saying, Robbie, you were listing off some of his goals and what they were. 3 of those goals that you were talking about, 3 of those 13 were also big power play goals.
Right.
A lot of them were the game winners. A lot of them were to give him a lead. But I think you take Jonathan Marchessault out of this lineup isn't what they are. I mean, you make a great case for Adin Hill. They're not here if it wasn't for him. You make a case for Mark Stone. You can make a case for Jack Eichel. But to me, Vegas isn't in the position they're in without Marchessault. I think Marchessault single-handedly has put the team on his back and said, all right, boys, we're going to win the cup here. Get on my back. I got y'all. So to me, it's an easy agree. And I got to say, boys, it's good to be home.
Yeah, welcome home, brother. Welcome back to
welcome
the Dirty
back.
Jers.
Thank you.
The Garden State welcomes back one of its own.
And I saw you, Swoopy. Appreciate you, brother.
By the way, shout out to everybody out there right now in the fam. Mean Metal Mike was saying, what's up? Penguin God Crosby Fan 100 saying, what's up, dorks? What is up, Penguin Dork? And
It's Mr. Dork to him.
oh, okay. And Flyer Fan 1995 saying, what's up, fellas? What's going on? Thrashers Forever Fan 2000 saying, sup, Hockey Brothers? What's up, bro? And we got Leafs Fan Love sends now 1, 2, 3. I bet $200 for Florida to lose this series. Let me win some money. Also, sup, fellas? Oh boy. Always interesting to put some skin in the action on this one. So
Looking favorable. It's looking favorable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I gotta ask though. Do you get extra money if you guess the games right? That's all I want to know.
Interesting. That is true. Typical Canucks dork 666 saying, wearing my tinfoil hat that says in marker Florida chokes tonight. Well, that'll be interesting to see. El Nordique 76 saying, what came first, the Penguin or the Nordique?
This is like a chicken or the egg thing?
Actually, that is a very good question. What did come first? I mean, historically, franchise-wise, the Penguins were around before the Nordiques were, because the Nordiques came in the WHA. So,
Yeah, the WHA started in, 71?
somewhere around that range.
Yeah, I think it was from 71 to 79, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then then of course, they saw nothing but red on their books, and they said, hey, NHL, could you please come and merge with us? The NHL said, yeah, sure. But don't mind if we bend over all the teams we're taking into this league, right? Because we're just going to rob them of almost all their talent, which they did. Very nice of the NHL to do that. The only person they couldn't rob was Gretzky because of some little craftiness. Speaking of that, Depressed Oilers fan 978 saying, come on, Florida. Wonder who he's cheering for. Devils King fan 67 saying, hot Cheetos and hockey. Well, there you go. He's got himself his primetime meal ready to watch some Game 5.
You
Which, by
watching
the
that?
way, go ahead, Rob.
You watching that Eva Longoria flick, Flaming Hot after tonight's show, after the Stanley Cup Game 5?
Oh,
Uh,
I got to go watch that 30 for 30 on Anaheim.
Yeah.
and
That was really, really good.
Florida right now on the power play. 9 minutes left in the first. 6 shots apiece, no goals.
Me and Maddie are on point as far as timing goes.
See, you come back to Jersey and it all syncs up now.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's
And
go.
the Goat Head Saber 1995 saying Sabres are almost ready to compete. We got some good talent to build around Tuck. It is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Who's
You
your
got.
goalie?
Hey,
gonna be
listen.
hard.
Boy, if they can get
Oh.
if they can get Connor Hellebuck, oh boy, there you go. A shorty, right?
Oh, how far ahead is Brad?
I don't know.
Oh, they just got a shorty.
Yeah, Brad's pretty far
Brad's
ahead.
ahead then, because I just
Oh!
saw Stone score that. Wow.
Oh,
Woo.
Good defense, Florida. Yeah, just let him stand in front of the net, and stick handle a couple of times.
wow.
I mean, come on. That's pathetic.
that's
Ooh.
some good. That's good patience on Mark Stone's part, though, too, to let the defense make that move.
That
no,
is,
I understand that, but I mean, can they be any slower getting back? I mean, Barkov wasn't even skating; he was gliding. I mean, could he not dive and try to just knock the puck away?
See, the problem is that who's on D at that moment there? He doesn't take
Montour.
the Montour. He doesn't take the body there. He tries to
Mhm.
reach out with his stick, and that's a mistake there. He doesn't even try to get in front of Stone to try and take away any shooting options.
I mean, that highlights something too. Now, let's say this goal. I mean, I doubt that this goal stands up to be the game winner, but it could, the way these goaltenders have been playing. And would that be the feather in the cap of Mark Stone for Conn Smythe with the Stanley Cup winning goal?
Maybe. I mean, he
Maybe.
is the captain of the team.
That was a shorty too. Shorties are backbreakers.
And
Yeah.
To top it off to what you were saying there, Robbie, was even if this doesn't stand up to be the lone goal, that would still be considered the game winner. So
Yep.
yeah, so maybe that does put the feather in the hat for Mark Stone.
Yeah. I mean, 21 points. I mean, you're talking about a guy that missed the final 39 games of the regular season, comes back and just continues to play that 200-foot style that really leads this team.
Oh, he just
Absolutely.
took his ass right off the puck
Oh,
there.
another one.
Whew.
Oh,
Big save there from
Bobrovsky
Bob.
keeping his team in the game.
Yeah, if Smith scores that, ooh. Oh, that was a really close chance too for Florida down at the other end. They just couldn't get that finish. Oh,
yeah, they haven't
boy.
exactly had Florida has not exactly had the puck luck in this series.
No, yeah, that's true. I think. Okay, game 3 they had some puck luck go their way.
Yes,
Just
they did. Well, the one that bounced off of a couple of guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that for sure. But I mean, for the most part, this series, Vegas has gotten all the bounces, which usually happens to a team that's ahead 3-1. So,
but I think you earn some of those bounces too by playing hustle.
Absolutely.
Really playing full energy, and that's what I'm seeing here in Game 5. I mean, these guys are just taking it to the body, just steamrolling the Florida D-men, moving the puck out of the zone and getting odd man breaks.
absolutely, fully agree, Robbie.
Me, Metal Mike. Off topic question he has here says, does anyone enjoy some Ozzy Osbourne by any chance? I do. I do love Ozzy Osbourne.
Does.
Oh, Black Sabbath was a legendary band. How could you not love Ozzy?
All right, here, quick fire question. Favorite album with Ozzy
wow, what
on
a save by Bobrovsky.
Oh,
no,
boy. Okay, so now we gotta hold up
now
for a second.
2-0. Oh boy.
Oh no, not good. It's another 2-on-1.
What is going on with his defense right now?
I mean, that is just.
Oh my lord!
Whoa!
Holy shit! What a pileup!
They're saying it's in.
That is in. It looked like it got. But Bob's not happy. He's beyond pissed right now.
Well, it looked like he may have been interfered with, but.
We'll have to wait and see.
He stopped the first one.
Haig will get the credit for the goal if it winds up counting.
Wow.
It was definitely in.
YouTube chat's on fire right now.
As always.
Penguins God Crosby fan 100 being the only Penguin fan we have in here is getting roasted.
I don't see why I don't see why that goal would be I don't see why that goal would be disallowed. So it's 2-0.
I don't see why either. Yeah, Bob's down
There's
and
no-
out.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah,
they're taking him out.
He's no. I think he was talking about how Bob had overstretched himself trying to reach that puck, but he couldn't get it. I mean,
It's
he
not even
made
that.
the
He
initial
was-
save, but
He made the initial save, and then he stayed put because he thought he had the puck. So
Right.
that's a good goal.
So 2-0 Vegas. Oof.
The
2-0.
The puck popped out. Maybe he's mad because they didn't get a whistle.
Probably because he thought he had the puck.
Well, he thought he did,
Yeah.
but yeah.
He had a pin between his body and his stick that got loose there. I just don't think it was enough time covering the puck. You got
So,
one.
no, and he may
two,
not. They may have
loose,
thought that he
yeah.
didn't. He may have seen the puck, and if they see
Right.
the puck, they're not going to stop play.
Have I seen it whistled there? Sure. But, it's just like you said, Brad, poor puck luck going Florida's way.
And how
Yep.
many times have we called out bad
But-
officiating for blowing a whistle too fast? That was actually the right thing to do there and not blow the whistle that quickly.
Agreed.
As long as that puck wasn't covered for long. So yeah, I agree.
Florida's
It
not.
was
I
a
mean,
quick whistle.
Florida's letting these guys get to the net. I mean, come on.
They are. They are. Florida's defense has let several big opportunities get by them, and 2 of them have been in the back of the net now.
Yeah, I mean, this defense. This was not the defense they were playing in the first 3 rounds.
No.
Now, I would give Vegas their marks, but something's. And I know it must hurt not having Tkachuk out there. That's got to be a killer. But jeez,
Right?
I mean, they look very discombobulated defensively, and they're giving the puck away. I mean, it's ridiculous how many
Sloppy.
turnovers they have right now.
Just
It's the wear and tear. It's the wear and tear of the playoffs catching up to the Florida Panthers right now, and Vegas is just driving past that. I mean, I'm not saying it's over. It's only the first period, but it's over.
yeah.
Oh, they're done. No,
Hold up. I need to
That's
ask. I need to ask Ian a question. He said the NHL is rigged, and I need to know how. How is it rigged? Like, what's rigged about it? You got
Anthony?
yeah. Like, what's rigged about it? If it was rigged,
It's definitely not rigged, because if it was rigged, these 2 teams would not be here right now.
Right.
Well, you could make an argument for Vegas, but Florida sure shit wouldn't be here.
yeah, these guys are going to the Penguins. I love it.
He forgot. He actually it was autocorrect. He wrote the NHL draft lottery is rigged, and it just.
Okay, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I got
Okay.
you.
Oh, hey, look, God's here.
God
Hello,
shall
my
not slay
children.
on the Penguins.
Listen, that's true. We're all God's children. He loves us all equally, including the Penguins fans.
Somebody's gotta love the Penguins fans.
I don't know. I think he doesn't like hockey fans, because if he did, he wouldn't make us have to put up with Bettman as the commissioner.
I mean, as much as he irritates me sometimes, he is doing a lot of good for the game. So say what you want.
Not as long as you had that ridiculous shootout. Mm-mm.
Well, that I'll agree with. Like I said, there's some things he's not doing right, but spreading the love of the game throughout some
Yeah.
markets and having
He's done a good
success
job
in
with
those
that.
markets. Yeah,
Trying
That's-
to take fighting out of the game. Mm-mm.
Pete, what's going on, brother? What I find funny is, too, it's like everybody who's slamming the one Penguins fan we got here right now, what I find hilarious about that, it's literally everybody. Everyone. It's not just Flyers fans or Devils fans or anyone that would be direct rival. It's literally everyone. Canucks dorks doing it. Thrashers fans doing it.
Well, everybody
Everyone's
hates the
doing it.
Penguins.
it's great. I love it. The YouTube chat's on fire as it always is with these guys in here now. I love that these guys have found us. It's great.
Yes,
great.
we
And these
very
are
much
the-
love it.
What was his show name? I get the notifications on my YouTube, and I'll chip it. I'll check in with him every once in a while. What was his name? Give me a second here, boys.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Hot Take Hockey. Hot Take Hockey.
Hot
Take Hockey. They're from his chat.
Gotcha.
He
So-
comes in here every once in a while too.
Yeah, he was a cool cat.
Appreciate the
Yeah.
support.
Always got to support each other here.
And Ritz saying, is this series ending tonight? Well, Vegas is sure as hell making a great case for it right now, being up 2-0 here.
Yeah, I wonder what does anybody know what the line was for the game tonight?
No
For
idea.
for betting,
Well,
for just taking the Penguins.
I think
giving up those goals.
I think our Leafs fan in the chat actually probably did, since he put 200 down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wonder. It had to be probably like 180, maybe 210.
Now let me see here.
It moved as of 7:55. The line moved from minus 165 to minus 200.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was close. That's minus 210. Okay.
Benny's.
It's going to get higher after they score their next goal.
It's already a foregone conclusion.
Well, if Florida's going to continue to not play any defense, then they're going to just give up.
Benny brings up a good point here. He says Maurice needs to take a timeout. Do you think he should, or do you think that now is not really necessarily the time to do it?
No, now's the time to do it. Your boys are rattled. You just gave up 2 goals in the span of 2 minutes. You're playing sloppy ass hockey. You're turning pucks over and causing odd man rushers going back the other way. Paul Maurice has to take the timeout now, settle his boys back in, because they know if they don't win this game tonight, it's all over.
That's true.
They have to win tonight. It's literally a must win for them. They don't have tomorrow.
Right.
Get the guys get the guys' composure back underneath them. Relax, get them to relax a little bit. There's plenty of hockey left. I agree with Benny. You got to take the timeout now.
Now, Florida's had their chances, though.
They have. Adin Hill has made some really good saves.
I mean, this who they just showed on replay. I mean, they were both spectacular saves.
Mm-hmm. One on Barkov for sure that they just showed.
Yep. I can't blame Bob for either one of those goals, but it's not like they were not stoppable. They were stoppable, but I mean
that the defense allowing.
The defense. I mean, the defense hung him out to dry. I mean, could he have stopped it? Maybe. I mean, those kind of goals probably go in about 75 to 80% of the time, I would think.
Oh, that's bad. That's a bad turnover right there. They're having some really big issues. You know what the problem is in the neutral zone? I'm seeing this multiple times. Whether they get to the blue line or they don't get to the blue line, Vegas goes in, takes body, and kind of moves the puck off of the Panthers. And then the Panthers get completely caught out of position and they race off into the other zone. I've seen it like 2-3 times now. And the Panthers are not countering that whatsoever.
Here's another giveaway in the defensive zone for the Panthers. Obviously it doesn't help for them not to have Tkachuk, but I mean that's
one player.
That was a sloppy play by Lombard, though.
Yeah. Listen, I get it. Tkachuk's been a leader on this team. He's been a major part of this squad, pushing through and getting through some really tough situations. But at some point you gotta rally around each other and say, hey, listen, Tkachuk might be out, but we're not done. And right now it's, the Panthers are playing like we're done, and that's not good because Vegas is going to smell that blood in the water.
Well, the Stars, when the Stars lost Ben, they got galvanized. They came back and won a couple of games and made that series interesting.
Benny is saying Vegas has turned the puck over several times as well.
Yeah. But it seems like they're doing it out of aggression. Florida just seems like they're scared. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like they're panicking when they get the puck in their own end.
Good pressing.
Yeah, they are.
Swoopy saying, well, at least one of Marner, Matthews, or Nylander will get traded by Toronto. Okay, which one will?
Nylander.
Nylander would probably be the case. You don't want to trade Mitch Marner away. Because if you can't trade Nylander away, then you gotta get rid of Marner because Marner's gonna want a lot of money, and what are you gonna do with that?
Marner's already making a lot of money. He's got like $9 million on the books or something like that.
Right, but he's probably gonna want even a little bit more. Maybe get to 10.
Well, I mean, none of those guys are going to be free. The only one that's going to be a free agent anytime soon is going to be Matthews after next season.
Right, whole reason why
they need to get off. They need to get some cap relief is what they need.
Right.
I think Tavares has a no movement clause. I think Marner might have a partial no movement. I don't think Nylander has a no movement, so I think he's going to be the easiest one to move. And you're going to get You're going to get a significant amount of money off the books for him. You send him to a team that could use a scorer. Philly could be a
Yeah,
good
and they
option.
probably has a little cap space.
Oh, yeah, by the way, what's up, Don?
Hey, Don.
Hey, Don.
What's up, brother?
And let's see here. So Email Mike wanted me to see some of those slam comments. Let's pull those up. He said, I don't know. You slammed the penguin into a goalpost. And that was from me, Metal Mike's comment of, how do you beat a penguin on the ice? And the other one,
That's a pretty good point.
yeah, no, I think you send the penguin to the fish market.
That's a pretty good one.
Those are some good comments. I like that. Let's see here. So God said he'll be right back. He says, BRB, my children, St. Peter is having an issue at the pearly gates. He needs to find out what to do with Pat Robertson, the Unabomber, and Silvio Berlusconi.
Boy.
Three
Hit that
people
elevator
that
button.
passed this week.
You guys just got to hit that down button. Just put them on the elevator and hit down. That's all.
Listen, maybe the elevator needs maintenance.
Kick him down the stairs.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see here. Swoopy says we're getting to the end of the first period here. Swoopy's saying, do you guys think every Flyers player should be available? I do. I don't think anybody should be untouchable. I, for so long, didn't want to trade Carter Hart, and in my thinking, I still don't, but this team needs a full rebuild. Look to add as much draft capital and salary as possible. This team needs to really focus on a new culture and identity, rebuild it. So, gentlemen, how do you feel?
I don't think everybody should be available. I think you should make some guys available because you still need guys who understand the organization in your locker room. You need guys who bring a positive atmosphere, who knows how to create a positive culture in the locker room. You can't just, tear it all down, get rid of everybody and start fresh. You need to have veteran leadership in the locker room that's going to help these young guys grow. Do I think that TK should be available? Yeah, you can get a nice haul for TK back. Do I think Carter Hart should be available? I'm still iffy on that, but I understand that, you're going to get a nice return for him. And this is the one that who I don't think should be available, but apparently they're taking calls on him, is Scott Laughton. We've all said that he's a future captain of this organization, and I still stand by that.
He's got a lot of people there. A lot of people are calling about him.
And
I read that today.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about a guy who's going to be able to create a culture and help keep that culture moving and be a positive influence on young guys available or the young guys coming in. That's Scotty Laughton. There's a reason why we think he's going to be a future captain. But, you need those guys in that locker room. You can't just clear everybody out and just bring in young guys and expect something to happen. Got to have a mixture of both.
Well said.
What about Hayes? What's going on with him? If the Flyers say they're willing to take a $3 million back for the first 2 seasons if they trade him, they could probably get a bundle for him.
I've heard Hayes connected to Columbus, but I don't with Provorov going there. I don't know what Philly's going to be able to get in return for Hayes with that now after that deal, but we'll see. I'm sure there's still some teams interested in him, but Philly's going to have to eat some of that contract.
Detroit's interested in him too, by the way. Hayes.
Yeah.
I've heard that one too. I've also heard your Ducks are interested in who were we first talking about? I'm sorry. Forgot.
Travis Konechny?
No, not Konechny, the next one.
Oh, Laughton.
Laughton.
I wouldn't hate him in Anaheim.
I've heard. I was reading today about some of the guys on the Flyers who may be available, and I know the Ducks called about him.
It would be a good move for them because, like everything I just said about Laughton, it'd be the same thing in Anaheim. You bring in a guy who brings in good leadership and a good culture. He's a good culture guy. So Lawton is going to help any team that he winds up going to. It doesn't matter if he stays or goes.
So Benny's Nation saying TK needs to stay. If you can move Coots, you do. Anthony goes on to say, is Coots available? I'm assuming that's what the comment's about.
Yeah, he would be.
Well, I think doesn't he have a full no movement clause?
I think I'm not sure if he does, but I don't know. Do you think teams would be willing to talk with? I mean, yes, we know about his talent and his two-way play and everything like that. But the thing is that he's been so hurt. Do you think teams might be a little gun shy on talking about it and wanting to bring him in? Because that's the thing. Like, that's been the main issue we've had, is that he's been hurt. And would that throw you? Would that, if you were a GM and Danny Briere came up to you and said, hey, let's talk about Coots, would you be kind of not interested because of his injuries? Or would you actually want to hear him out?
He's got a full no movement clause anyway.
Okay, so he's got a full no movement clause. But even so say he's got his list and he puts it in. If you're still the GM on that list and you're one of the teams that are on that list, do you still hear out Danny? Or do you kind of say, sorry, Dan, he's too banged up. I can't go with it?
No, I don't see it happening. A lot of the reasons is, one, because of what you just said there, Matty, is because of his injury history. Two, he has a full no movement clause, so he'll veto anything. I know he wants to play here and he wants to compete here and he wants to win a cup here.
Right.
And I can actually say here now and not have to worry about being in Carolina. Good to be home. With Coots having a no movement clause, he's not going to be able to put his full no movement clause lasts up until I think it said 29-30. Then he has a partial no movement clause where he has to give the Flyers a list of 10. I think as of right now, they have to ask him to want to waive it before they even talk to anybody. Because otherwise, I think that becomes an issue.
Well, it's a waste of time if he's not going to cooperate, so to speak.
Yeah. But I mean, Coots is going to be a bit trickier to move, I think, because of everything that Matty said there was, his injury history is going to be a big reason. Like, when he's healthy, he's great. We know this. 200-foot player. He's got 30 goal ability. He's a big player. He's a good playmaker. But again, you got to find a team that's willing to not only deal with that long-term deal, but willing to sit there and say, "Hey, we know he's got an injury history. We're going to give you this, and that for Sean Couturier."
It would be conditional draft picks.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and you're right. It's at this point, he's got to play some games and prove that he can still play in the NHL and not get hurt. I mean, it's not from a lack of ability. It's just a question of is it durability, not ability.
Yeah.
I mean, can he actually get out there and play the games? I think that might be the biggest problem right now for him.
Yeah, it'll be something that, I would have to think that not only with the no movement clause and what you were saying, Bri, with him just vetoing stuff, even if that was even possible and he was actually like, well, yeah, I'll consider it if it's this team, or this team, he would still have to put on a really strong season and be healthy and look like he's going to stay healthy for the foreseeable future. So it's a very steep hill to climb if you want to try and make something happen there, and it might be so steep it might be 90 degrees. You might not even be able to climb.
To Anthony and several of the other commenters' points here, I read this earlier today on Twitter from Jamie Bascal that it's really Danny Briere's intention to move up in this year's draft from that 22, not from the 7, but from that 22, and raise that up to like the 10-15 range. That way you're selecting 2 players, in a star-studded draft within relatively close proximity, and that they're targeting right-handed defenseman Tom Wallander from the Swedish league, which obviously Flyers very familiar with. That would make sense. So the reason why I bring all that up is that I believe the plan is you move one of these bets, whether it is a TK, a Kevin Hayes, right, and that 22 to get up to that to that point, and working out the dollars and cents afterwards. I think that's a really high probability.
I do too, and I actually like that. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to sway a team to take a player like a Kevin Hayes because with his contract, or even I saw Swoopy's comment about Risto. Maybe you'd package Risto with that 22, eat a little bit of that contract, move up what 7-8 spots, and see what happens. See who falls to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes the options for the Flyers a little bit easier on trying to create some cap space.
Okay, so here's a question for me. Who would do that though? I mean, I wouldn't want Risto. First of all, I wouldn't want Risto on the team anyway because I've never been a fan of his. To be quite honest with you, but
you could always
to go backwards in the draft, switch draft picks for him is kind of like a bad defensive. He's not really. I mean, you have to look at it from not from a Flyer standpoint, but look from the other team standpoint. Let's say I'm the Rangers, okay? If I wanted to give you the 14th spot, if I was in the 14th spot or the 13th spot, let's just say, and you're in the 23rd spot, or 22nd spot, why would I want him? He's just another big contract that's, it hasn't really been very good the last few years. And how does that help the team?
Real quick before Maddie goes, it's pretty simple. A team that needs cap space needs to get back to the cap floor. They'll take a contract like that. It's rebuilding 101. Sometimes you have to take bad contracts to get back to cap floor in order to gain some draft capital. I mean, some teams will be willing to do it. Just be like, hey, this is a $5 million contract for the next couple of years. We're in rebuild mode. Might as well just take it and stay at the cap floor.
You mean do the Arizona play? Go to the Arizona playbook.
It's a lot of rebuilding teams' playbook.
Yeah, I just think that you might want a little bit better of a player though.
At that point, you're rebuilding. What do you want a better player for? You're trying to get as high a draft pick for the next few years as you're trying to get. Not saying that you're tanking, but he'll help a rebuilding team. He's just not. Yeah. He's not the type of defenseman that's going to help a competing team.
Okay, I got your point. I see your point.
Okay,
I see your point. Okay. It'll take a certain kind of team that's rebuilding, like possibly the Winnipeg Jets.
Maybe Anaheim. I don't know, Maddie. What were you going to say? We have enough defensive issues.
Before I would jump in, the go ahead Saber.
Nice.
He said it 2 barf bags. Also, I'm assuming to the Risto deal because hey, if anyone's going to know anything about Risto, it's a Sabres fan. So, what I would say is that what you can do is you could trade Risto off, and you could give that 22 pick over to that team to swallow that and take that. While at the same time, you can trade off Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes has more value as a player. You can also put a couple of other incentives if you have to into that deal, if you need to. You have a little bit more of a bargaining chip with Hayes. You have almost no bargaining chip with Risto. So you kind of have to sweeten that deal in order to say, hey, you take Risto off our hands, we'll give you the 22. In exchange, you're working on the deal for Hayes. If you could get that number 1 for Hayes and you can move out Risto in another move by just trading the 22, so that way they take Risto away from you. There you go. You've gotten rid of Hayes' contract. You got your number 1. You got your first round pick that you wanted to move up with. 22 is gone because you traded that off with Risto to another team, and you've got Risto off the books. And in exchange, the other team doesn't feel like they got hosed because they got a 22 first-round pick. And if they already had a first-round pick to begin with, they won't feel all that bad about taking a second first-round pick, even if it's a little lower than their other one.
Right. And then on top of that, you sweeten it even more by saying we'll take half their contract too. We'll eat half of their contract. All you got to pay is a 2.5.
Right.
Rebuilding 101, baby. the best way to do it.
That would work because then you could use him as your fifth defenseman or sixth defenseman. Yeah, because I mean he's being paid. The problem is right now with him is that he's being paid to be a number 3 or a number 4. A second pairing or a first pairing defenseman, and he's just not that right now.
Yeah, and to Benny's point, he said they compounded the mistake in trading a first pick by re-signing him, and I agree. I think re-signing Verso to that contract was a bit of a mistake. Not so much re-signing him, but more of the annual value that they gave him was a little much for me, and it still is. But
Right.
I mean, you can quickly fix that mistake. Not quickly, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like you can fix that mistake by talking to another rebuilding team and say, hey, we see you have plenty of cap space. You're not quite ready to compete. We got this guy for you. We'll eat half his contract. We'll give you the 22 pick. We want to move up. Let's talk about it. We got plenty of options for you guys to think about taking with the 22 to get us to move up to where you are. So it's not a bad option to move the 22 because you will be able to move somebody with it to be able to move up. So one of those top 16 teams
Right.
will be willing, probably more so in the top 10, will be willing to take a contract like that. And I would say in those stipulations.
Right. The Penguins, God, Crosby fans saying, why pick on the poor Penguins? Why not? It's like the NHL's favorite pastime. It's what everyone does. I'm sorry, bud. That's just how it works. If you're a Penguins fan, it's just what happens. And most of it began with the drafting of Crosby. To be completely honest with you, I think that's where 90% of it truly began, was when Crosby got drafted by the Penguins. That's when everyone started shitting on them real big. It wasn't before, because beforehand they weren't that good. So, yeah. So, moving on with that, Swoopy saying, I agree with Lawton. I don't want to trade him. Flyers are saying because it's fun. Yes, that's an understandable thing. Deville's saying because Metro is fun. Sure. Typical's going to because once we find the penguin in the fish market, he'll get transferred to the zoo.
Or you could feed him to the leopard seal.
Thrasher's saying
that is their the leopard seal is their top predator.
Right.
So,
the Thrasher saying, be sure to harpoon the penguin for extra safety. And Hilnerdy saying,
I mean, they're kind of small, a harpoon. Unless you're talking about an emperor penguin.
And then Elnordy saying, make sure the harpoon's extra pointy. So, and Leafs Sense fan saying, don't forget to add salt when hunting for penguins.
Is
Is
this the ASPCA texting?
They're going to be coming texting A2D, be like, why do you have so much penguin hate? It's like, no. It's not actual penguins. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. And they're like, okay. They're not.
Yeah,
they're
okay,
not.
Never mind.
Yeah. They're not people. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just funny how like certain teams in each sport are treated like that, right? You know what I mean? For hockey, it's the Penguins. Brad, for baseball, it's the Yankees. People love to hate on the Yankees, and right now,
and the Red Sox.
Yeah, true. But I mean, in terms of the Lakers, you know what I mean? Dallas Cowboys,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Understood.
Yeah, but
now are you just mad because the Mets blew a 5-1 lead tonight? Is that?
Well, I was bringing it up to give a little scoring update, but I'm never allowed to finish talking on the show, so go for it.
Yeah, it's 7-6 Yankees now.
Yeah, I want to give you some credit. Absolutely, got my dad and brother watching at home. We're a split family, like many are in this day and age between Mets and Yankees fandom. Yes. But it's always fun. It's always a fun rivalry. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It is because you know what, the Yankee fans and Met fans, when they're at the same ballpark together, you don't see fights.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's the difference between, say, the Yankees and Red Sox fans,
Right.
or like Mets fans with Philly fans or Brave fans, that they get into fights. They don't get into fights with Yankee fans. They get into verbal jousting. That's about it. And they all laugh about it.
Yeah.
And they go home shaking hands. That's kind of the deal with that rivalry.
So, Tom Hedrick saying, let's fucking go. Hey, man, I know you got to be on cloud nine right now. Your boys are up 2-0, and they could win the cup if they get this victory tonight. So it's, I'm sure Tom is just, I mean, hey, actually, question, Tom, are you coherent right now? Are you completely blitzed at this point? Just pure curiosity. I mean, it's okay if you want to start the celebration early. I have nothing against that.
Or it could be like Joker and just having the little beer in the corner of the room. But no, I give credit to Tom. I give credit to Tom. I think he single-handedly willed this. I'm already saying it, this Stanley Cup for the Vegas Golden Knights, because he's been down with them when they were down. Looking. Where their chances were poor in terms of making any noise, and now look at him.
Right.
No, absolutely. Every show he's coming in. Go Knights, go. Let's go Knights.
He has been. And let's see here. Benny's saying, why are we talking about the bankruptcy birds? And then Ted was up saying, poor Penguins. Do we live in a bizarre world? The Pens are getting picked on over the Flyers. I mean, honestly, it's more fun to pick on the Penguins this day and age. It was fun to pick on the Flyers back in the 70s. Because that was a different time.
But why pick on the Flyers right now?
Right, they're pretty much down in the dirt. You're basically just kicking them while they're down.
Yeah, I mean it's no fun to do that. It's no fun to be. I mean, yeah, is it fun to beat them to a pulp every time you play them? Ooh. Sure, it is. But does it make the rivalry any better? No.
Chance right there. Well, let's see here. So we're saying JVR is a free agent. Oh, that he is. And that's one of the major things that got Chuck Fletcher's ass fired. So
yeah, well, he should have traded him for a bag of pucks.
Well, apparently they had a deal worked out with Detroit, but Detroit couldn't make the money. That was what happened, apparently.
Okay, Swoopy, he wants to know about the Rangers bringing Laviolette. I'm very happy that they brought him in. I like him. I mean, would I have rather had Patrick Roy? Yes, I would rather have had Patrick Roy. I admit it. Would I rather have had Coach Q? Yeah, but here's the problem. Coach Q is not going to meet with Gary Bettman until after the finals. Now, knowing Bettman just to be the erect, that he is. He probably won't talk to Coach Q until like the middle of August, just to spite him. And the Rangers can't wait that long. The Rangers need to have a coach in place for the draft coming up and for free agency. So
true.
That's why there can't be anything going on as far as that goes. Okay, Rua, I guess they think he's not stable. That'd be the only thing I could think of.
Sure.
And Laviolette has won the cup. He's kind of very Tortorella-ish.
Yeah.
And
and there's a goal for Florida, and it's now 2-1.
Back in it.
I mean, but as far as Laviolette is concerned, he's the same kind of coach as Tortorella, and I like Tortorella, and he's defense first guy. I mean, he's made the playoffs 15 out of the 18 years he's coached. He's made the finals 3 times, won a Stanley Cup, has been to the semifinals, I think 6 times. So, I mean, this is a guy that's had success wherever he's gone.
Yeah.
And of course, he's missed the playoffs 3 times, and the 3 times he missed the playoffs, he was fired each time. So I think he gets the whole point that, he's not there. He's not there to not make the playoffs. So I think he's also a better defensive coach than Gallant.
Right. I mean, he's a great fit, though. I mean, coaching, in the Islanders in the past, been in this area, in the metropolitan area, and talk about success. He's the winningest U.S. born coach in NHL history. That's a good guy to get.
Well, and he also, the thing I give him the most credit for is getting Nashville to the Stanley Cup Finals and winning a couple of games over that Pittsburgh Penguin team back then, which was really a much better team than them. But they won a couple of games and gave them all kinds of trouble in that series.
Right.
So Aaron Ekblad with the goal. It is his second of the postseason, and Nick Cousins on the assist.
Well, now they're back in the game. They need to tie this game and get into the third period with a tie.
They do need to, yeah.
That was a seeing eye puck. All kinds of traffic, did not touch anything.
And
but that's the only way they're going to beat Hill.
Right, tonight at least. I mean, if Hill's feeling it, it's hard to score on him pretty. Sometimes you just got to get in front of him and take his vision away.
What a great story, too. You're talking about a guy, 30-year-old goaltender, been around the league out of nowhere, having that playoff run. I just love those stories in this tournament.
Do they re-sign him, Rob? Does Vegas re-sign him? I guess they have to, right?
I think so, especially with the void. I mean, you're going to be getting a plethora of options, though. I mean, what's his name? Logan Thompson. He'll be back from injury. Rainier, who was initially, going to be the plan going into this year.
Connor Hellebuck.
So it's going to be a lot of tough decisions.
Connor Hellebuck looks like he's going to be available too. I don't know if Winnipeg.
Yeah, he wants out of Winnipeg. You're right.
But he might be available, which also brings us to Carter Hart, who might be available as well. So it's not like they aren't going to have options.
Right.
So is he just on fire?
The field.
On
fire?
Like,
I appreciate what you did this year for us, but
yeah, that would. Well, I mean, listen, Colorado did that to their goalie.
Yeah, Darcy Kemper did it.
Adin
Hill's, he's nothing special. He's an AHL goalie. Only reason why he's here, like Michael Layton did the same thing. Michael Layton got hot at the right time too for the Flyers in 2010.
Right.
So did Boucher though.
Yeah, but how many of those?
Well, but Boucher
had a career.
Boucher had been in the NHL for quite a period of time, even after he came back to the Flyers.
And I believe they'll still have Jonathan Quick too next year. I think he's got one more year on his contract. So it's thanks for what you've done for me lately. You can go sign somewhere else, or we'll sign you to an AHL contract, and you can start down there.
Benny's saying that's because most Mets fans are on probation.
That's actually kind of funny.
Swoopy saying, I love that Keith Jones has been doing the playoffs, finishing out his contract. This will help the Flyers.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Penguins, the Penguins guy, Crosby fan saying, but why harpoon a penguin? Why not shoot the devil? Listen, I'll be equal opportunist. I will absolutely harpoon the penguin, and then I will go shoot the devil. I have no problem doing both. I can multitask.
There you go.
But sorry, penguin's still getting harpooned.
Florida's cleaned up a lot in this period here early on. About 6 minutes into the second period here, they've cleaned up their game a lot. They're getting some better chances. They're entering the zone better. They're sustaining some offensive time too. So this is going to be an interesting period here for Florida.
Yeah, and they got that goal, which is definitely a huge recharge for them. They needed that goal so badly. For Maurice, I don't know what he said, but they have always said Paul Maurice is the kind of guy who he does know how to sell it to a team, and they believe everything he says, and it's true. You see the way Florida has acted, man. When he says to do something, they do it. So,
well, he seems to have settled them down, no question.
By the way, Me Metal Mike says plus Ovechkin is better. Benny's Nation said Florida got one back. Yep. And then he also said, no, it's okay, brother. It's okay. And Ted said, who did Lavi win the cup with because he won with the Hurricanes. He beat the Oilers in that Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Oh, Benny already answered that right. Sorry, Benny. Didn't mean to steal your thunder there, my man. And email Mike saying, when did Nashville come into the league? What was their original tandem? Oh, their original tandem. That's hard. I forget who they had. But they came into the league in 2000. I think it was
Vokoun.
2000.
Thomas
Think
was their starting goalie.
Tomas Vokoun. Yeah.
I don't know who the backup was, but I do remember Vokoun.
For a while. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me check what Nashville's roster was when they first came into the league, just out of pure curiosity here. See
I hope
what
I'm
they
right.
had going with them.
I am right? I mean, Vokoun, I remember him. Is he an original, though?
This is why I'm not on Fandemonium.
I don't think he's an OG.
Left.
So let's see here.
I mean, I'm fully used to this information,
who was
guys.
their
I might actually be right on
roster
this
in
one.
that
I think
season.
you are. Sounds right.
You might be. I just want to double check here because I'm just wondering who were their guys. This was. Hold on a sec. Gotta pull up the roster because, of course, they didn't show me the roster. Because why the hell not show me what I want to see?
Right.
Let me see here. Oh well, that's life, right? You deal. Goaltenders wise, let's organize that. So let's see here. Their goaltending tandem was Eric Fashad, Chris Mason, and Tomas Vokoun. So you were right, Brad.
Check
Vokoun
out
was
this
an
big
OG
brain on
in
Brad.
Nashville.
Sorry, that's a baseball thing. I got one right.
They have. They had Andrew Burnett, Patrick Cote.
Did a lot of them right.
Jeff Daniels, Doug Friedman, Patrick Gilberg, Denny Lambert, Billy Peltonen, Sebastian Bordelot, Greg Johnson, David Legwand, Cliff Running, Peter Sikora, Darren Turcotte.
Used to be. Oh, there's an ex-Ranger. Cliff Ronning used to be I think a Leaf or a Blackhawk. I can't remember now. Ronning was pretty good.
I think he was a Blackhawk.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my instinct.
Their captain was Tom Fitzgerald.
The GM of the Devils? That same Tom Fitzgerald?
Yeah, Tom Fitzgerald was their captain.
Son of a gun.
He was 30 years old at the time when he was on that team.
Legwand had one hell of a career.
He did. I actually remember him being on the Predators, and he was actually really, really good for them.
Yeah, for a long time too.
Let's see here. Oh my God, JJ Dagno was on the team. Clearly at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. JJ Dagno right here. 33 years old he was when he was on the Predators.
I can't believe he lasted in the league till he was 33. Wow. Go JJ. My goodness.
Greg DeVry. Who else is here? Oh, Timonen was an OG. He was 23 at the time when they came into the league. So that's interesting.
It's the only one I knew.
Scott Hartnell was
used
not.
to be on the Rangers.
So those are the two significant Flyers players we got from Nashville. Yeah, Darren Turcotte.
Yeah, I think who did they? Oh, they traded him for Steve Larmer. Not a bad trade, and they ended up winning the cup because of that. Well, also because they got Messier, but Larmer was pretty good that year too.
Oh, okay. Okay, he was a Canuck. Oh, okay. That's what Benny and Anthony were saying. Ronan was a Canuck.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Here.
He was in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Rangers, actually.
Let's see. Will's saying, "What's up? What's up, Wills? What's going on, brother?"
What's up, brother?
Really?
Yeah. And Anthony's saying, what does Pittsburgh Pens and Billy Graham have in common? They both make 15,000 stand up and yell, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I thought I thought that joke was on the Rangers. That's kind of what the Ranger jokes have been the last like 50 years actually.
In Devil's case, like I see how it is. Hey, listen, brother, you know that there's still that hate there. You know it is. And he's saying, if you shoot me, then I get to staple these flyers to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh,
I like that. Good counter. Then he said, Vespi made a penguin joke earlier up in the chat. Oh, he did? Okay, let me go find that. Meanwhile, still 2-1, about to be about 10:30 here in the second period.
and Bobrovsky has made some great saves to keep this 2-1. Because right now the Golden Knights are putting on the pressure.
They are. 14-12 are the shots, although that may change in a minute here because it looked like the Golden Knights just had another shot right there.
I mean, right now it looks like it's a power play.
Yeah, and it is not.
No, but they've had possession of the puck for like the last minute.
Ah, here it is. That's just saying, what is black, white, and red all over? A sunburnt penguin. All right then.
There you go. There's the third goal. I mean, you can't just keep letting them keep the puck in your zone, and then you get it out for 2 seconds, and then they're right back in again. I mean, I think the Panthers players probably were all out on the ice for probably 2 minutes. Another giveaway because they're probably all out of gas and all needed to do a line change.
So
they got caught. You know what? They got caught in that line change. That's what happened.
Yeah,
did you see the high? Did you see the high view? They made a change and they were all behind the play.
Yeah, it's that long change.
Yep.
That's the problem with it in the second period. It can play games with you if you're not quick. And if your transition game's sloppy, and that was a sloppy transition right there.
Yep, bad line change, and it cost them a goal. Wow. And that was a heck of a shot. I mean, that was right in the corner.
So let's see here. Email Mike saying Canucks best goalie was Luongo. I would have to say yeah. I mean, they had some good goaltenders. I know they had Reggie Lemelin. They had a few other really good goaltenders, but I think you'd have to go with Luongo. Well, let's see here. So right now, still in the second period. So while we're in the second period, might as well transition to the second period here. And that second period is brought to you by All Campus OC. If you're down in Ocean City, New Jersey, you come by and say hi to John and check out his shop down there and on the boardwalk there. And he's giving 20% off of everything in the store, including hats, shirts, to all of the A2D subscribers. So get subscribed up. Head on down to Ocean City, say hi to John, check out the ramp booth, and get yourself some merchandise with a little discount on it. Oh, Rob, I think your mic's muted, brother.
Obviously, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Ooh, good save.
And let's see here.
No, another goal.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Brad.
Didn't say anything, but you know they were all out there for 1 minute and 45 seconds again.
Yep, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah. No one was covering Smith there.
Yeah, but did you see underneath where they had the times each guy was out on the ice?
I did not actually.
Yeah, they had all the times. They had the times that everybody was on the ice, and they were all over 1.5 minutes.
Oh.
And Florida just couldn't get off the ice because again they're putting on so much pressure and having them then. Their forechecking is tremendous.
They're taking advantage of that long change because Florida is not having a good time with that transition.
No.
Yeah, I'm behind you boys. So I got to see what you were talking about, Brad. It was 1 minute and 50 seconds.
1:50. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Even
I mean
worse.
I mean when that happens, it's only a matter of time unless either the puck gets shot in the crowd or whatever. I mean, if I were Florida right now, I'd call timeout.
Yeah, I think now is the time you do it with your Paul Maurice. Like, you might want to call timeout now because you're back down. You're down now 3 goals instead of 2, like you were in the first, and both goals came at 1:45. So,
Yeah.
oof, yeah, if you're Paul Maurice, this might be a good time to do that.
And they just took an icing too. So I mean, that's just one more. Just one more reason they're not.
See, here's the thing: if he can calm them down, and if he can call timeout, calm them down, and they can score before the third period's over, they're only down by 2 going into the third.
No, it's
And I
3
know
now.
that's still not it's 3 right now, but if, say, you calm them down, you call timeout, they start to calm down, they start to get something going here, and they could get another goal before the period ends, you're only down by 2 going into the third period instead of being down by 3. It's not ideal, but you're only down by 2 as opposed to 3.
2 is doable.
They have to respond though.
3
That's the thing. They're not responding.
Yeah,
Right,
3 is a
right.
miracle. 2 is nice comeback. 3 is a miracle though.
What a
Stanley Cup
gorgeous
game.
between the legs pass from Carlson.
Mhm. I didn't realize that Colton White didn't have a stick, so they were essentially playing 5-on-4.
Yep.
That was brutal. And they hemmed him in there for a good minute too, which is even worse. But Florida has to respond.
They've been doing that for like the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, they got the momentum back.
Tom, that's saying this is all your fault, Brian.
Cinderella stories always have to come to an end at some point, right?
Oh my
Right.
God.
That's hey, I'm here for it. I mean, I've been rooting for the Panthers, sure, but tonight I'm a Golden Knights fan. Have the puck awarded while we're live on air. That's always good for business.
That's always good for business. Let's go.
That's a good thing.
It's what, a third time in 5 years this has happened, or was the Capitals in 2018?
Absolutely. It was the Capitals in 2018. We caught that game 5. So, ironically, it'd be another game 5. Isn't that funny? So,
and the Golden Knights are
Let's see
involved
here.
both times.
Both times, yeah. And
right.
the other storyline here, Maddie, both teams are winning their first. Their first.
Right.
Teams like to break their cherry on the hockey happy hour. What can I say?
Hey, you got to do sometime. Hey, that's what A2D is here to do, is to break cherries. That's what we do here.
Hey-o.
That's the motto, by the way.
I'm here for it.
Oh.
Very good. Very good.
Breaking cherries left and right.
Meanwhile, my saying Vancouver in the early 2000s had some good playoff teams. They did. Just unfortunately, boy, did they find a way to get themselves eliminated every single time. And let's see
They had a
here.
really good team in that little time frame. They really did.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Now
when
most
they had the
people.
Sundins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both sitting twins. They had Marcus Naslund. They had Trevor Linden.
Mm-hmm.
They had Roberto Luongo in net towards the end of that.
That team was stacked.
They were stacked. I'm trying to think of who they had defensively. They had Alex Ehlers. They had
Yes.
who's the other one? Kevin Bieksa.
Kevin Bieksa, yes.
Yeah, they had a bunch of good players in the 2000s.
Benny's Nation saying.
War bomb, baby.
Oh, so the Phil's doing something.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't turn out like last night.
Benny's Nation saying, you know who I feel good for? Those long-suffering Knights fans.
Long suffering.
I can detect a little hint of sarcasm in this comment, just a little.
Yeah. I hope it's being sarcastic. Try being a Ranger fan.
Or a Flyers fan.
Yeah. Yeah, neither one of us are exactly pinwheels of fortune.
No. I mean, hell, even the banners I got back here. Sharks over here, never won one. Vancouver, never won one. Calgary hasn't won anything since 1989. So, yeah, it's been a good long while for a lot of those teams.
War of futility.
See, the funny part is I got the Flyers banner up here. This is like the old style ones, too.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Nice. I love them, man. It's a really great touch.
Thank you. On the other side, I got two LA Kings ones, ironically enough. I got the purple and yellow ones and the black and silver. And in between it is it's a St. Louis Blues one. So notice the theme. All of them Western Conference except one team. So
like style.
Robbie, real quick, who's pitching for the Diamondbacks tonight? Is that Zach Davis?
Davies, yeah, I believe so.
I didn't realize he was still pitching in the majors.
Yeah, he came back. He was out for a while on the IL, and they brought him back when they DFA'd Mad Bum.
Yeah, he's not looking good so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. It is Zach Davies.
You know who else I didn't realize was in Arizona? I thought he retired. Evan Longoria.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was in Arizona. He popped a big-time 3-run home run last night.
I thought he was on San Francisco.
He was. Yeah, I think he went to the Diamondbacks just for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, they're ripping into the Ducks now.
I have not heard of Evan Longoria's name since 2008.
So in this show, we've mentioned Eva Longoria and Evan Longoria now. We are complete. Good night, everybody. Good night. No.
For the gamers out there, have you ever seen when the trophy pops up for PlayStation, the achievement pops up? It just did for us tonight. So we've mentioned Eva and Evan in the same show.
There you go, Trey. There you go, Trey.
So let's see. God saying, hello again. I figured out the issue over at the pearly gates. I told St. Peter to take them to purgatory before I make a decision. I have unpaid interns that they can handle it. They have a backlog. So that's what purgatory is used for. Okay.
Well done. Well done. That's a fair ball.
All right, so let's see. Also Ottawa in the early 2000s, another team that was constantly fucking up when they had some great teams. Anthony's saying, how do you stop the Pittsburgh Penguins? Oh, wow. Beat his wife. Dress her in orange and black. Oh, my God.
A little over the line there. No.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. Oh, well.
Hey, did you guys hear about John Sterling on Saturday night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was announcing a game, and while he was as he was announcing, Justin Turner hit a foul ball and hit him in the head.
Yep.
And while he's announcing the game, he says, "Ouch! That just hit me."
Well, fortunately, it hit the desk before it hit him, so I'm sure it took some force off of it.
Yeah, it was a glancing. It was a glancing. He didn't miss. He didn't miss a beat. I mean, the next pitch was grounded out, and he called it, and he was fine. But that's pretty funny, though.
Finished the game too, right? That's what Gary Cohen said. He gave him a shout out. He was like, "That's remarkable."
Yeah, and he didn't miss the next game either. And he's 83 years old. I mean, my God.
Yeah, that's what's impressive. I mean, no matter what age, that's impressive. Let alone that age.
At that age, damn, if I got hit the head with a baseball, it'd take a crane to get me up.
You know, he and Susan Waldman have gotten a lot of like flack, like people like, you know, like just picking on their quirky ways of calling games, right? But you talk about two professionals and like especially Sterling. I mean, like just being a legend in the broadcasting booth, like that's just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
so I think that might just be the nail in the coffin right there, boys. It is now 5-1 Vegas.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Panthers.
Oh, that's one Bob probably. Yeah, Bob should have had that one.
Yeah.
Another situation now. Shift times over 2 minutes.
again.
Yeah, again,
Mhm.
Vegas is just keeping them penned. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even like watching that play specifically. Like they're not even getting in passing lanes; they're allowing just these passes to go player to player, tape to tape. Every goal so far is minus the Mark Stone goal has been nice pass after nice pass, crisp pass after crisp pass. The Panthers aren't getting in passing lanes, shooting lanes, anything like that. Everything's getting right to Bob.
Yeah, and he's struggling with it, no question.
Let's see here. Leafs fan saying, I'm winning $600, boys. Hell yes. Well, hey, good for you, my man.
shit, man.
Good for you, brother.
That's
Enjoy it.
outstanding.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I might jump a plane and go out to Vegas just for the party.
They do celebrate pretty well out there.
We do require a 75% payment cut for our part in this, mainly me. I'll take about 70 of that 75%. The rest of you guys can have the rest. So basically, you're splitting $50 a piece.
Oh, I can live with that.
Hey, listen, $50 more than before, so there you go.
Yeah, I can get it. I could get a couple of pizzas.
By the way, Don, you're on notice. Don said God said not to say his name in vain. And also Don did apologize. So he got down on his hands and knees and he asked for forgiveness.
He's blaming me for this again, so what? I'm not mad. I actually like being right. Feels good.
And God saying it is okay. I am not happy with what happened on the game show yesterday. I saw there was a question about Jesus' mom. Jesus wept.
I didn't even watch the game show last night, and I felt terrible because I wanted to see who won between Brodo and Pete. I was conked out last night, boys. Like I was between moving all day Sunday, moving in all day yesterday. I was done, boys. I slept from basically. I fell asleep around game show time, so about 9:30. Slept till about midnight. Went upstairs, and then I slept again from probably about 1 to about 9:30. Got up again, came down here, put on South Park, and then I fell asleep again from like 10 o'clock to 1:30.
That's some good bedtime stories right there.
I was worn out, apparently, like really bad. Up, energetic, and ready to go today, though. Let's go.
There you are. Mimo Mike saying, how do you roast a duck? And
a little salt, pepper, a little bit of oil. First you can, about 350 for about 2 or 3 hours.
Leafs fan says, well, let's see. We will season the ducks and give it a nice golden crispy skin.
That's what I'm saying. I like him.
The Devils
feed the duck to the Sharks.
Feed the Ducks. That's exactly what happened the last time the Sharks took on the Ducks in the playoffs. It was a feast for them.
There you go, Maddie. That's for you. I brought that fresh up.
Oh, come on. That was years ago, and the Ducks are going to get back to the playoffs faster than the Sharks will, and you know it. So
maybe.
Don saying, we went for slamming penguins and popping cherries. Yeah, I'm leaving.
No, Don, stay with us.
No, the problem is Don can't be this sinful. Because God's in, he's here. So he can't be sinful. He's got to leave.
He doesn't want to get God annoyed with him.
No, God already put his ass on notice. So
wait till you see the next comment from God. It's actually really good.
Okay. Penguins fan saying, then the penguin pecks the duck guts out.
Boy, oh boy. Vicious people here.
Hey, listen, this is hockey talk. It's banter. Benny's Nation saying, just happy to see that the Billy Joel banner is hanging up in the building. Oh, what was it? It's Billy Joel and what was it? Bruce Springsteen, I think, has a banner as well in the well.
I think
for
so.
From the Spectrum.
I think so.
Yeah,
the Buffaloes stomp.
The Buffaloes stomp the Duck's neck.
I wonder if they all know I'm a Ducks fan now.
They
I
might.
think they're catching
Might
on.
have.
Right. The duck.
Yeah. Just a
Then
little.
we give the duck a bath to make sure it's clean.
It's a little late, but okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Is
listen,
there anything left of the duck?
it'll be nice and clean for its funeral. So
I mean, this will still have the outside. Some nice fluffy feathers.
there you go. At least there'll be that.
And maybe the bill.
Couple tail feathers.
Yeah.
Let's see here. God saying, do you know what you do with cherries? You pop them out, you pop them and eat them. That's how I made things.
Yum.
That wasn't the one I was referring to, but that was actually a funny one too. I missed that one.
Yes.
That is a very good one there. Let's see. Thrasher's for fans saying, then we make sure the duck can quack like a mouse.
Yeah. Real quick, boys. I'm just picturing this animated scene with every animal surname in hockey just battling it out, like in the wilderness, just like going at each other, man. Maybe even throw like other sports in there. Lions,
I think the
tigers,
saber would.
everything.
I think the
Oh,
saber
yeah.
would probably be the betting favorite.
Depends. Where's this action going on? By land or
Wow.
by sea? Because if it's by sea, you got to give it to the Sharks.
Yeah. If it's in the forest, you got to give it to the saber.
Here's the thing: the Canucks have the Orca, so that's going to be a nasty little duel right there between those two. But
Yeah. Good point.
They're calling a goal here.
was that a goal?
They're calling
They are
it a
calling
goal.
it a goal. Wow, so it's going to be 6-1 Vegas before we
6-1.
dive into the third period. My God. Whew. Yeah, Amadio was right there. And then he
I
got
don't see
pushed
it.
into the net, and I think that's what took the puck into the net. So, well, let's see. He gets lost in the shorts here for a moment. Oh, there it is, underneath Bobrovsky, and then it goes in that way. That's what it looks like it happened.
Start shining up the cup.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
6-1.
Yeah,
That's
nice
it.
and polished.
Boy,
Yeah,
they-
I mean, my
after-
God, it's a 5-goal lead in the third period. Jesus. If Vegas was to lose this game, it'd be the greatest collapse in Stanley Cup Finals history. I mean, well, okay, maybe not. I would have to assume the 1942 final would take that when the Maple Leafs came back with the Red Wings. But in a single game and in a single period, it would have to be. But I don't know about that.
Do you remember when the Island one year the Islanders played the Penguins in the playoffs, and the Penguins had a 5-0 lead? This is when the Islanders were still in their heyday. It was Game 7 at the Nassau Coliseum. I think it was Game 7. Yeah, it was Game 7. It was Game 6 in the Nassau Coliseum, I think. And the Penguins had a 5-0 lead in the third period, and the Islanders rallied and won 6-5. And do you know who the broadcaster was? Because I was listening to it on the radio. John Sterling was the broadcaster. And he was so annoying because when the Islanders scored, he'd say Islander goal about 50 times when they score, and you're like, all right, we get it, they scored.
Well, so that had to have been 1975 because that was the year that the Islanders came back from 3 down and beat the Penguins. Then they went down 3-0 to the Flyers in the next round, and then they came all the way back to push Game 7 against the Bullies, but then the Bullies beat them in Game 7. So the Islanders almost made double history by not only pulling that off, but they almost did it twice.
Actually, it wasn't Game 7. It was Game 6 was in the Nassau Coliseum because they won Game 7 in Pittsburgh that year. So it was Game 6, and it was on a Saturday night, and I remember listening
Penguins
to it
had home ice, which makes
which must have made it sting a little bit more for the Penguins, as they blew a 5-0 lead in the third period. It's quite similar to the Toronto Bruin game way back when the Leafs had that big lead in the third period.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then Toronto fucked it up and got themselves eliminated. Yep.
Yep.
Typical Canucks dork saying, then we use the Ducks carcass for our rink paint. And then the depressed Oilers fan saying, then we stomp the Ducks' feet. Why stomp on the feet at that point? Just seems kind of pointless. Just saying. Just seems a little bit overkill by that point.
A lot of anger out there.
Don's asking if everybody's okay. Don, you already know the answer to that. What kind of question is that? You already know the diagnosis is not good. So let's see here. Me Metal Mike saying, yes, Don, it's hockey banter. It's all good. God saying, stop hurting animals. You all need my son.
That was the comment I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Don's like, all right, carry on. Benny's just, wow, he can't believe it. I don't know if it's over the talk of the banter or if it's the fact that the Golden Knights have pretty much slam dunked their way into this Stanley Cup right now. And Benny's saying the Panthers are out of gas.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's what it is. They are out of gas right now.
Well, I mean, to Brad's point, and even Rob was saying this
Let's
too.
see
like,
here.
They're holding
Dylan's saying if the
Knights
Flames were.
They're holding the Knights in the Knights are holding the Panthers in the zone for like 2 minutes at a time. So, like, yeah, they're gassed.
Yeah, and what they're doing is they're forechecking. I mean, keeping the puck in their zone, and they're able to change lines. So they'll after a minute they'll have all 5 fresh bodies out there, and then you have 5 exhausted players going against 5 guys who are flying around the ice, and they have no chance. I mean, it just seems like they can't break out. They haven't been able to break out, and they really haven't been able to get their breakout game going the whole series.
Nope.
Dylan saying if the Flames were up 5 goals in the third period, I'd say they would find a way to blow it.
Markstrom, yeah, probably.
It's happened before, but I don't think so. Not in this series. I just think the Golden Knights are a better team.
So let's see here. And then Me Metal Mike says, imagine then Vegas tanks next season. Actually, that would be hilarious. Vegas wins the cup. They trade off all their talent, buy out contracts, and then they say, we're going to suck now. We got what we wanted out of this team. Now we're going to suck for the next few years and build it back up and then do it all over again. Because that's how we like to do it here in Vegas.
The hockey edition of the Marlins.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just realized that. He did
Somebody
that,
has to take up the mantle.
Brian, you better watch yourself. God's going to get you.
Oh,
Do not take thy Lord's name in vain.
I almost said his son's name, too. El nombre de Padre, y Filho, Espíritu
Oh,
Santo.
man.
Amado.
Let's see. Anthony's saying, why does the Detroit call themselves the Red Wings? It is a woman's time of the month. Well, actually, the legitimate reason why they do that is because they wanted to kind of make it fit with the city of Detroit, and they put the wheel on it. Plus, the colors were already red and white, so they just changed the name to Red Wings instead of just calling them Wings. Beforehand, they were called the Detroit Cougars, which, looking back on it, though, it would have been interesting if they had kept that name. Because think about it. You would have had Lions, Tigers, and Cougars. You would have had 3 teams with cats as their mascots, all in Detroit.
So they went from Cougars to
the
Red
Pistons
Wings?
would have been,
Oh.
We did forget about one animal that they could have really hurt the Duck. Yeah, the Panther.
Let's not talk about that.
What? Yeah, but right now the Panthers having a hard time with the Golden Knight. I think the Golden Knight might kill it before it gets there.
Yeah, they don't need a harpoon. They'll just bring the dagger out.
That's right.
I just think it's interesting. They go from Cougar to Red Wing. I mean, it still fits.
Bring the giant ass broadsword.
Yeah.
To take care of business.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Robbie. Like that's a huge
It does, doesn't
That's
it?
two completely different ends of the spectrum. And Maddie, you're on such a delay right now.
Oh,
But yeah, that's two completely different ends of the spectrum. But at least Red Wings and the logo makes a little bit of sense. Being, the Motor City. Cougars just never really made much sense. I don't think there's many Cougars in Detroit unless you're talking about, Ayo.
Oh boy.
well, here Benny's saying some Cougars don't need Red Wings. So
That's what I was getting to, Benny. Well said.
Oh, Jesus.
And then
Christ.
Tony Petrelli saying Cougars don't get their periods.
Oh, truth.
But do goalies change their pads between periods?
Oh, God.
Oh, well said, Brad. Well said, good sir.
No.
Hey, look who just showed up, too. Hey, Tom.
Tommy. Period talk. Come on in.
Yeah.
The water's warm.
I don't know if Tom's going to be dipping his toe or anything into that water. He might just take his towel and go back into the house.
What's that old joke? You don't trust anything that bleeds for 2 days and doesn't die?
Something like that, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, Benny's dying. And Tom's saying, love a good period.
Listen, the only periods I like and the only periods I trust are the ones that come at the end of a sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tony,
Or
it's
hockey.
slip and slides.
It's hockey talk. It's still hockey talk. Period.
Right.
Yes.
You can slip and slide in a rink.
Yes, you
Oh
can.
God, I'm going away for a few minutes.
Okay, so we're at the end of the second period. So we are halfway through Game 5 and what's looking like to be the final game of the NHL season for 2022-23. In the meantime, before we jump back into our discussion, we'll give our Conn Smythe choices, and then we'll go to the third period. But before we do that, we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with our Conn Smythe picks. So stick with us. We'll be back right
Hey, Birds
after
fans, the
this.
NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right, then. And so, yeah, if you want to have some fun, go on a nice little trip, Philly Sports Trip. Enjoy a little camaraderie with some fellow Eagles fans as they head on out to take a look and see their favorite Birds play. And Philly Sports Trips, Philadelphia 5for5 Sports Travel Company, premium travel and tailgating experience for the passionate fans of Philadelphia. Go to phillysportstrips.com for more information. All right, then. So, gentlemen, let's give our picks. So since it's seeming like the Golden Knights are going to win this one, this might make this a little bit easier for us to narrow it down. Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Who we got?
I'll go. Initially my gut was saying Adin Hill, but I have to go Jonathan Marchessault. The key factor that I mentioned earlier in the show, in case you're just joining us, the man did not have a goal in the first 7 games of the playoffs and now leads the playoffs in goals. 13 in his last 14 games entering tonight. Actually had another goal tonight, so that's 14 and 15 now. I think it's no question Jonathan Marchessault.
Agreed.
All right then. So
Ditto.
Marchessault and Brad agree. Okay. And we got Tony Petrelli is saying agree as well. For that, for me, I will go. I'm gonna say, it's hard to argue against Marchessault. I guess if I could be a devil's advocate, you could throw out Jack Eichel. You could. But I think it will probably be Marchessault. I think that'll be who gets it. By the way, Tony said that Bri had to go cry off camera. So, Bri, are you there by any chance, or are you crying? Yeah, he's crying. Okay, so we'll wait for Bri to get back.
Who's crying now?
Tony was asking if you had to go off camera to cry. So.
Oh, hell no. I have to go fill up my drink. My refrigerator's not as close as it used to be.
So, who do you have winning the Conn Smythe?
For me?
Yes.
For me, it's Marchessault. I know he hasn't done a whole lot in this game, but he's the reason they're there. He's been huge. Like I was saying in the beginning of the show, he's a big part of the reason why they're even there and why they're in the position that they're in. Like Robbie was saying earlier, 13 goals earlier or in the postseason after going no goals in the first 7 games and then just absolutely going lights out. You can make an argument for some other players, but I mean, for me, I don't think there's anybody better that's been more valuable on that team than Jonathan Marchessault. He had a couple multi-goal games, a few 3 or 4 point games, and he's been huge on the power play. A lot of game leading goals, game tying goals, game winning goals. He's scoring when it matters. So to me, it's got to be Marchessault.
Yeah, I mean, I was throwing out, if you want to play devil's advocate, you could try and argue Jack Eichel, but I would say it's hard really to argue against Marchessault. The man has been on fire.
Right.
And to me, before I let Robbie go here real quick, the only other person I could consider is Mark Stone.
Mark Stone too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could say Alex Pietrangelo because they've been so good defensively. I mean, that's a dark horse. That's an outside shot, not a realistic shot, right? And at this point, with if you're saying who was the MVP leading up to the final, oh man, that'd be a slam dunk Matthew Tkachuk. But his after averaging roughly about 22 minutes of ice time per game, that's dropped to 18 or 19 during this finals. He hasn't been right the whole time. He's been banged up, and clearly he wanted to be out there tonight and was not. I think that put the final nail on the possibility of a potential losing player winning the Conn Smythe. But talking about a guy that had 24 points during these playoffs, 11 goals, 13 assists, tied for points with Marchessault coming into tonight and Roope Hintz of the Stars. He led the Panthers with 4 power play goals, 4 game-winning goals, including 3 in overtime in the postseason. I mean, he's been pretty good himself and, gave it a legit shot to try to get this team a cup.
Well, for sure, dude. Like, you can't argue that. Since, what was it, Game 5 of the Boston series in round 1, it's been Tkachuk. Tkachuk has been such a huge part of that Florida team. And similar to Marchessault for Vegas, Matthew Tkachuk put this team on his back too and said, boys, I got you. And it comes back to what Dylan said earlier. I don't know if you saw the comment that me and him had talked about it, but Tkachuk's the heart and soul of that team right now.
Yeah.
He's a huge reason to why they are where they are and why they're an 8th seed in the Stanley Cup Final right now.
Right.
But they're out of gas right now. And I said this last week. He was a dum-dum in the first 2 games, getting himself kicked out for 36 minutes of the first 2 games. Like, that was stupid of him. I think that put the Panthers at a disadvantage, not having him out there, first of all. Second of all, his point production isn't where it should be. I think game 3 he had a goal. Game 2 or game 3 he wound up having a goal, but he's only got like 2 points in this series. So he's really cooled off as well, but he's the reason why they are where they are. And to what Dylan said earlier, yeah, I think you should strip Barkov and put the C on Tkachuk.
Yeah, because even hurt that late goal in game 3 to tie it and send it into overtime. What a leader.
Yeah.
And with Dylan saying, still standing by Maurice stripping Barkov of the C, giving it to Tkachuk. Barkov hasn't done much during this run. Even in defeat, Tkachuk sent a message for the next game.
Sure did.
Anthony saying, what does the Florida Panthers and the Titanic have in common? They both look good until they hit the ice. Okay, I like that one. That's a good one. I like that one.
That was good.
By the way, Roscoe's here now. He's saying, I am pissed off at the Florida Panthers. I am pissed off at the Miami Heat. I am pissed off. Literally in that succession.
I think he's pissed off here, fellas.
Just a little. But you know what? To complete the trifecta, since Philadelphia did the same thing, what they need to do is they need to have the Marlins go to the World Series and lose that. So that would be hilarious.
That would really be a long shot, though.
Yeah, might as well go for the trifecta, right?
Right. Go for the unholy hat trick.
Oh, what if that happens? You go from.
I think you got a better chance with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I forgot about the Dolphins.
I don't know if it's a little late because the Super Bowl's already happened. You have to wait till next year.
Yeah, but did they sign Dalvin Cook yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to happen.
Yeah, me-mail my saying Dolphins lose Super Bowl.
Dalvin Cook was Florida State.
I think so.
I'm gonna look that up, but that would be a good fit to go back to Florida. You know.
Yeah, he was. I think he wasn't born and raised in Miami. Isn't he Floridian by birth?
Yeah, born in Miami, Florida.
That's what I thought. I thought that's why they were making that connection with him.
Does Miami FC?
Yeah.
Yep.
Does Miami FC count? The soccer team, the one that just signed Messi.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
enter Miami.
If they could lose in the finals, so we could get the hat trick.
Oh no, you know what?
To get to the finals, that's for sure with him.
I got it even better. You know how the Eagles and the Union lost on the same day? Have the Dolphins lose the Super Bowl and the Miami MLS team lose the final in the same day so Philadelphia doesn't have to hold that record.
Maddie?
Yes.
We don't talk about that day.
But here's the thing. If you talk about it because it's no longer relevant, it doesn't hurt that bad.
It still hurts. It still hurts. For me, the World Series was a little bit more painful, but that Super Bowl hurt. I'd give a rat's ass about soccer.
But you know what? Benny's Nation does say it best here. It's better to be pissed off than pissed on. So there you go.
He's got a
wise words have never been spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could find that in a Buddha quote somewhere. Yeah. Maybe in a few books.
Well, I wonder if Plato thought of that one.
He might have. Yeah, it sounds like he was into some freaky shit. So, you know.
Confucius.
Confucius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better to be pissed off than pissed on. or my favorite, man who go to bed with itchy bum, wake up with sticky finger.
Oh boy.
I think
Or what about he who lives in glass houses shouldn't throw stones?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, that
That's
statement
always a
doesn't
good
always
classic
ring
one.
true. I mean, if you're a freak and you like to get pissed on, I guess, you know, if you're not pissed off and you're getting pissed on, it's a pretty damn good day, right?
I mean, true. And there,
If you're in
I
the
mean,
golden shower.
I mean, hey, there's a few people. I'm sure there's a few clubs that also participate in those fetishes. So, you know, just imagine that.
I'm trying not to.
That
Yeah.
You know what? Wet Willie would be the perfect name for that club, by the way. So
Jesus Christ, Matty.
I understand that.
You're gonna get God. You're gonna get God mad again if you keep bringing him into that.
God. I'm not bringing him in. I'm bringing his son into it.
Oh boy.
he's gonna get even more mad now.
Remember the pot today? Spirito Sante.
Cleanse all you want. At some point, he's gonna get real mad at you. So let's see here. Villain saying Vegas has many cups as the Flames and the Ducks now. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It's that they did it a little faster.
Right.
A lot
But also,
faster.
but look at it this way. It is still more than what the Canucks have and the Sharks. So there's the positive there for you in the silver lining.
Yeah, but
And they have
still
more
not as
than the
many as
Kraken.
King.
Right. But the Kraken did destroy the Colorado Avalanche, so that was enjoyable. So
Yeah.
still my series of the playoffs. I don't care. That's still my favorite series. Actually, it's tied. It's tied with Florida beating Boston because that will always hold a special place in my heart too. So
Yeah, that one really was kind of special.
That one hurt my heart a little bit for Bergeron.
Yeah, I have no mercy for Boston. Yeah, they can't lose enough.
I don't blame you, but I love Patrice Bergeron.
it's all right.
He's one of my
Bergeron's
favorite
already got the
players.
cup in 2011. He get pissed off now.
He's a class act, but do you really want the Rat to get another one?
No.
Okay, there you go. So try to look at it. You don't want to see the Rat get one.
No.
9 in the row where the Rat gets it. Jersey folk will get that one.
Let's see here. Dylan saying
That's me now.
Yes. Yeah.
Dylan saying I-95 collapsed. Now Florida's going to break off from the states.
Gosh.
And California's going to float into the Pacific Ocean.
Florida's going to secede. I mean, when that earthquake comes, or the San Andreas fault.
Yeah.
Well, not to get all like sciencey on our hockey show here, but if you think about it, even if Florida or even California does eventually break off, it's going to be forced back because how Pangea broke off this way, everything keeps going this way. It's going to eventually hit each other again. It's going to take a very long time, but
Probably like
So in
80
billions
million
of
years.
it's going to take a very long time.
Florida and California will be their own country.
An island.
So let's see here. Dylan saying Vegas got handed a draft team and they also sold their entire future for this one cup. Join the LA Rams in that club.
Yeah, but they got the ring. That's the thing. They got it though.
That is true. You can only really point and laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
I
only
mean, they
point
got
and
it.
laugh if you don't get it. If you go
Right.
all in and you fail, yeah.
Yeah, like a certain hockey team that I'm not going to mention,
Email like Florida nuking Toronto in Game 7.
like that team. We go after a guy that we go get a guy who
Is it a team that wears red, white, and blue?
Yes, and they go and they get a guy who had to get hip surgery after the season.
Oh,
I mean, just think how dumb that was.
they didn't give up a lot to get him, though.
Yeah, but they could have gotten somebody else who might
Let's see
actually
here.
have been
Dylan
good.
saying, Dylan,
That would explain why he wasn't good, though.
I mean, he was fine in Chicago. Then he went to New York. I just don't think he fit the system.
Yeah, that could be true.
Dylan saying, I think the funniest part of the Golden Knights winning the cup is that the Bruins fired Bruce Cassidy and he comes back and wins a cup after they have a historic season and ultimate revenge.
That's a great point. That's fantastic. Total troll move.
Hey, Brian, I got a quick question for you. Did when Strome signed that contract with Anaheim, was it a no trade contract?
I don't think so. I think
Good.
it was a 3-year. It was a 3-year deal. I know that, but I don't remember if there was a no movement clause on it. I'm going to double check for you real quick right now.
There is a lot of rumors going around right now. I don't know if you read NHL trade rumors that the Rangers want Strome back for Panarin to get Panarin.
Well,
no, I don't.
You
mean
look that
for
up, Brian.
Panarin.
I'm going to pull up.
They want to bring him back because Panarin liked them.
While you look that up, Brian, I'm going to pull up our third period sponsor here. And our third period sponsor is FanUp, the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. Daily NBA and MLB contests and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use the promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That would normally cost you $50, but you use the A2D promo code, costs you nothing, and you get those 5,000 points immediately. So not only do you get a great way to enjoy some fantasy sports and make a little quick cash, you also get 5,000 points right off the bat. So check it out. Make yourself a little bit of green there in the fantasy world, like Mr. Pove does. And even Mr. Daly, he makes himself a little green there playing the fantasy sports.
Sometimes. So to answer your question, no, he has no movement clause whatsoever. So they could move him if they wanted to, but he's got a $5 million cap hit at the moment over the next 4 years.
All right. Well, and whoever has those rumors is not being realistic because the Rangers have no cap space.
Depends on what goes back the other way, and if Anaheim eats any of the contract.
Well, are you gonna? I mean, are you gonna take Lafreniere for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
because that's
what I was afraid of.
Well, here the reason why I would even take him is because we actually have the one his age, his position, and the third reason is we have the time to watch him develop.
Yes, you do. And
the Rangers don't necessarily have that luxury. They kind of need him to be good now. Anaheim doesn't necessarily need him to be now.
Yeah, and the problem is he shouldn't be on a third line. He should be on a first line, but Chris Kreider's on the first line.
Yeah, and then we could put...
And Gallant refused to,
Yeah,
we could
use McTavish on one end. We could use Zegras on the left wing and possibly put Lafreniere on the right wing. So
holy shit! What a save
Lafreniere
by Hill.
Lafreniere cannot play the right wing.
I mean,
you might have to.
Yeah, no, the Rangers have tried him there. He just he can't handle it. They tried, believe me. They tried putting him at right wing, and he's left-handed and he can't do it. So.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but like I said, we have the time to be able to develop him. So.
Yeah, a lot of there's been a lot of talk about Strome going back to the Rangers because Panarin wants him back. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Watch for that because
I just want to see something real quick.
Oh wow, I'll tell you what, Hill just made 2 unbelievable saves.
He's made a few tonight to keep him ahead. All right, so he's an RFA. So if they do decide to move Lafreniere, you'd have to sign him almost pretty much right away.
Right.
And he would probably cost about as much as it would be to hold on to Strome.
He's going to cost probably about, well, he scored 16 goals and I think he had 34 points. So this was
probably be a little bit less.
Points. Yeah, this was his points here. So I'm thinking probably around $3 million, right?
I was thinking like 3.5, 4. Before you told me that, I was thinking like maybe like 4.5, 5.
Yeah, no, 4.5, 5. That's not gonna. They're not. Miller might make that because he had over 40 points as a defenseman, so you might see him get that. I don't think. And Miller's the other or RFA on the Rangers, but I can't imagine they would trade him.
We will see what happens. This is going to be a very interesting offseason for a lot of teams.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a very active offseason as well.
Dylan saying, I just pray the Oilers don't get Travis Konechny. They can have Carter Hart because he still have no defense to help him.
That's pretty true, actually.
And then Dylan also says the Flames are teasing Lafreniere interest because of Huberdeau and their apparently chat. Flames have Lindholm, Hannafin, and Backlund in the trade block at the moment, unless Lindholm chooses to resign.
It'd be huge for him to resign, honestly. Hannafin, I'm expecting to be gone. And there's somebody else. There was somebody else I heard.
Hannafin's kind of old at this point, isn't he?
29, 30.
I thought that's all he is. I thought he's been in the league a long time.
I think he's been on a roster since he was like 19, 20.
Guess who scored again? Jesus.
I just cancel the rest of the game. Just give him the cup now.
Good Lord. I mean, there's really no point to score again, but okay.
Yeah, you want to talk about rubbing salt in the wound. That was Barbashev who scored this time.
Here's my question. Why haven't they pulled Bob yet?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Guess they figured, fuck it, it's the last game.
Yeah, but at some point you have to sit there and say, oh, he's 26. He's even younger than I thought.
Noah Hannafin's only 26.
He's 26 years old.
I thought it seems like he's been in the league a long time, though.
He has been.
Meanwhile,
Okay. He must have come in when he was.
It says, I'll have TK, Lawton, and Hart.
Yeah, here's my thing. Like, you they should have pulled him when it was 4-1.
Wow.
Guess what? Florida just scored.
Better late than never. Show some kind of life.
A little too late. It's too little too late.
Well, okay.
Nah, they cut it down to 5.
It's like, who scored that?
Sam Bennett.
Yeah, there you go. Comeback time.
Or Reinhardt. Sam Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett.
That was from the top of the faceoff circle.
Oh, Reinhardt. Okay.
Yeah, it was Reinhardt and Bennett look exactly the same to me.
Well,
that was a laser.
Good shot.
They could be separated at birth.
Bennett actually, believe it or not, assisted the goal.
Yeah, he sniped that.
There you go. That was a heck. The puck was
So
on
there
edge.
you go.
It flew in.
Vraska, I'm sorry, brother. I don't think they can. It's 11 minutes and they're down by 5.
Yeah, you're that.
I'm sorry, brother. They ain't exactly got the mojo working either tonight.
No. Although it would be fun if they got it down to 7. If they could get it to 7-5 by with 5 minutes to go. Then it might be interesting.
Reinhardt is
you
Bennett.
Real funny.
Bennett is Reinhardt.
Yeah, exactly.
Reinhardt is the man.
Reinhardt's got the better beard, though. Although I will say Bennett has the better stash. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Hey, what? One's a porn star, the other one's a Viking. There you go.
There you go.
Oh boy, we're back to that, huh?
How did we get back there again?
What? That's what you become when you have a great stash. If you got a great stash, your goal is to either become like an old-timey, investigator in the NYPD, or you become a porn star. You really don't have any other options.
But he doesn't have a.
That's why Austin Matthews. Everybody thinks he's okay. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah, Austin Matthews has a porno stash. Sam Bennett has a cowboy stash. Like this thing is like thick like a freaking caterpillar. Like I'm not even kidding.
You know who has the best porn stash in all of sports? Spencer Strider on the Braves.
Yes, he really does.
Kind of a mix between porn star and like Wild West, like Jesse James.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you know what? Actually, though,
Bennett's is all Jesse James. Like that's all. Like
I'll say this: Spencer Strider isn't a bad name for a porn star. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Think about it.
No. How about Rolly Fingers?
Oh yeah,
you remember him? He actually had that Dick Dastardly mustache.
He had that like 1800s like gentleman mustache.
Yeah, he looked like Dick. He looked like Dick.
He should have like had a monocle while he was pitching out there on the mound.
Yes, you're right.
If you're talking all-time great brushes too, you gotta mention Keith Hernandez in that too. I mean, that's the stash heard around the world. By the way, congrats, Brad. 7-6 final. Yankees take game 1.
Yeah, they. I don't know if you saw the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mets had the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yep.
And Lindor choked.
Struck out. Yep. Well, Clay Holmes, he pitched really well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I can see why the Mets are losing. Boy, oh boy. When did they become such a bad defensive team?
It hasn't happened. That hasn't been really a big issue. The defense has been all right. It's been the starters not going deep, and seeing Max get lit up again tonight. And what, he went 3 in the third, 3 and 2/3. I mean,
that fourth inning, he got beat up.
Right.
That slider he has. It was just sitting. He hung it. He was hanging it, and he wouldn't. For whatever reason, he looked like he was shying away from his fastball. I don't know what that was about, but
there he is. It's getting shiny.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mike saying that Brad's clone is polishing the cup.
I want his job.
Yeah, you kind of look like that dude. Oh man.
That dude's been doing. I'll tell you what. That dude's been doing that job for a long time.
Oh yeah, he's been doing it since like the 80s, hasn't he?
He definitely was doing it for the Rangers Stanley Cup, and that was 100 million years ago. So,
you know what I think it was? I think it was because they needed a caretaker, because there's this story when the Oilers won the cup for like the 4th time. I forget who it was. He took the cup because they were partying at a nightclub after they won, and they just had the cup sitting at the bar. They weren't even like paying attention to it or nothing. And one of them took it home with him, brought it to his daughter's school, plopped it on the school like the desk of the secretary or the school people there and the administrators. And he said, "I'll be back for this when the school day's over." And he left. And the commissioner was not the commissioner, the president of the NHL was scared shitless because he couldn't find the cup. None of the Oilers knew where it was. He called Wayne, he called Mess, he called everybody. Finally, he got a hold of the Oiler that took it. He's like, "Do you know where the cup is?" Like, "Yeah, it's at my kid's school." He's like, "Oh, thank God."
Ooh, we got a goal here, boys.
Oh, another one. Oh boy.
Making it interesting.
7-3, 8:21 left to go in the 3rd period.
Where's Prez, by the way? His boy just scored.
Actually, yeah, where is Prez? It's weird. You would think he'd be here for this night. That one actually. So let's see here. Who got that goal?
You had the camera on Bennett. I thought it was Verhaeghe, though.
Verhaeghe? Okay.
Maybe it was Bennett.
He's the only other one besides Tkachuk that I really say has been a major part for the Panthers. Well, Bob, too, of course. But out of those guys, it was like, yeah, those are going to be the 3 names you throw out there.
They're going to make this interesting.
it was Bennett shot from the point. I mean, Verhaeghe was in the neighborhood around the net, but he didn't put his hands up.
Okay, so maybe it was Bennett.
Oh, off the Vegas defender and off of Petrangela's stick and deflected up.
Oh, okay. So that was the deflection I saw then.
Yeah. Yep.
And you are right, Me Metal Mike. Dallas did damage the cup when they were partying with Dimebag Darrell.
That cup gets damaged every day, but it's not the actual cup.
No, it's a replica. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Abe-Kubel damaged it last year.
Yep.
Celebrating with it, trying to get into the picture.
What a shock. A former Flyer damages a cup he just won.
Again.
That's why we can't have nice things, Knack.
Right. That's why he had to go to Colorado to get it. I'm sure he's very happy he got claimed off waivers.
I mean, depending on where he is now.
Hey, he got a cup, though, so you know what? Very few people can say they did that, so I think it's worth it.
I would say so.
So 6 minutes or 6:50 left here in the third period. Me Metal might say, imagine you're the goaltender and you score on your own net via deflecting off your own stick. It's happened, and boy, is it funny when it happens.
Or when they miss shots from center ice, dump-ins.
Oh, I've seen that too. I mean, hell, we saw Mike Smith do that last year in the playoffs. Shot all the way down from literally the Oilers logo and it flew right over his shoulder into his net.
I think who did one of the Flyer goalies did that once.
Biron.
But classically with David Clarkson on the Devils, it was big ginormous. I can't think of his name right now for some reason. Yeah, Briz. It was during the playoffs. Behind the net, he passes it right to David Clarkson, who slams it in.
Yeah. That was that. The Flyers were losing that series anyway. It was just a matter of time. It was a formality. That game was. Yeah. It was a bad series for the Flyers.
Yep.
It did happen to Steve Mason too, Jake. You're right. I forget who did it though.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens when the ice gets choppy. So
that means that probably means it happened against the Rangers then.
What was it? I mean, Brodeur
always stunk.
Brodeur tried to hop on a puck. I think he was well out of his crease and he knocked it into his own net, which was hilarious.
Oh, that must have been great.
That's a shame.
Empty net.
It's square post. Can't even mad. Stoner's got 2 goals tonight. And there's a hat trick.
There. Oh, no, it's not. He still missed. Think Stone's giggling at himself?
Marchessault is.
Stone's like, damn, I was so close.
That warrior stick he's got. That QR edge, man.
So who just scored the empty net goal? Stone? Yeah, no. Stone just got the empty net goal.
Did he?
He just got the hat trick, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, he did, okay.
3rd time's the charm, right? There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Now, he might win the...
Maybe he will win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, they put extra emphasis on the clinching game, so he could be. He's now the co-favorite.
If I'm Florida, I'm starting shit. At this point, you're just running up the score. There's no need for that goal.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
I agree.
Right.
If I'm Gudis or if I'm any of their other
chippy players,
yeah, I'm starting shit. I'm gonna start hacking.
Yeah, well, when you're icing it like that, oh boy, that was right.
Mark Stone just took 3 shots going for the net. You're running the score up at this point. Florida's got to send a little bit of a message going into next year.
Well, somewhere Alain Vigneault is shitting bricks. You remember how AV was complaining that Montreal was running up the score in Game 2? Which was hilarious.
I will say this, though. You pull the goaltender with 6+ minutes left in the game. That's what you kind of bring upon yourself, though. But it doesn't take away from your point, though. You know what I mean? In terms of, Florida having a problem with it.
No, I'm absolutely. I get your argument there. You kind of do ask for it if you're Florida, but It's 7-3 with 6 minutes to go. You really think they're going to put up 4 goals in that span?
Well, they got to try.
Hold on.
No, I get it. I get it.
Somebody threw a coonskin cap onto the ice. I'm like, what the fuck? What? You know, I laugh, but I should say
only in Vegas would they do that.
Right, only in Vegas.
What, they got a Davy Crockett looking like up in the stands?
Yeah, apparently.
I would love to have somebody on the show in the off season where we know that they've had a hat trick in their life, and I want to ask them, what was the craziest hat you've ever found in your locker after a hat trick?
Yeah, that's a great question.
That's a good question, actually.
And I'm going to totally forget about it, but it's fine.
So, I mean, yeah. So 8-3 now. Pretty much should be a foregone conclusion at this point. 5:54 left in the third period. Mark Stone gets a hat trick in the Stanley Cup Finals. Who was the last one to get a hat trick in the Stanley Cup Finals? Actually,
He might in a clincher.
In a clincher, he might be the first. I don't know if there's anybody else who did it.
I'd be wondering if that's a first.
Let's put it in the Google machine.
It's true. Google usually has the answer. Followed with "you dumb shit." This is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, we probably should know the answer to that, but I can't think of it.
We don't have our scribe available to us at this moment. We'll have to go find him.
Right.
Anyway. See, Rob knew what I did there. Anthony's saying, I bet Max Pacioretty is pissed this could be him in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, he's got a good point.
He does. And let's see here. And Anthony's saying, Biron is a good goalie until he came to Philly. Well, he was good for 2008. 09, that's when things started going downhill for him.
To that previous comment, Maddie, I did want to give him an answer for in terms of all-time favorite Dallas goaltenders. I mean, you could say Eddie Belfour finished up his career, but was he really a Dallas star? But I definitely think of that in terms of their early history. Jake Ottinger today, flash forwarding to that, is definitely up there. But my favorite of all time, I think, is Marty Turco.
You know, the funny part is that Turco and Belfour are both, Turco and Belfour are both, they're right there for me because they were really good. Turco doesn't get a lot of love sometimes, and I feel like that's not fair because Dallas just kept getting eliminated when he was single. It's like, okay, it's not his fault the team fucking failed to get out of the first round. It's not his fault. He tried. He's the only one that showed up.
Pretty much.
And then Eddie the Eagle, obviously, he won the cup with Dallas. So, you know, that's gotta be. As for another goaltender, you know, a part of me wants to say Kari Lehtinen, but I don't know if that will be an insult. Because he was okay at first, then he fell apart. But, I mean, Ben Bishop wasn't bad. He just kept getting hurt. That was his biggest problem.
Ben Bishop wasn't the same, though, down there as he was when he was with Tampa Bay.
That's true.
I mean, he was so good in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I hated the guy because he was so good. Made me nuts, but...
What, Brian?
This is funny. So, the last... If this is correct, if I'm on StatMuse right now, if this is correct, the last person to score a hat trick in the Stanley Cup Final was Peter Forsberg of the Colorado Avalanche.
Really? Wow.
This is the part that makes me chuckle. Guess who it was against?
In the Stanley Cup? Oh, no. Was it against Hextall?
No, it was against the Florida Panthers.
Van Beesbrook?
Oh, wait.
It doesn't say who the goaltender was. Probably Van Beesbrook. It was 1996.
It had to be Van Beesbrook.
Yeah.
That is ironic.
Somebody posted, we hope we get a repeat of what happened last time the couples won in Vegas with the stripper showing her boobs on the ice. Yeah.
Well, yes. And
Fantastic.
since Vegas is the one winning the cup, might as well have a whole line of them. So have Vegas spelled out on the tits. But
It'd be like the two girls who flashed their tits in the at the who were they playing? It was a baseball game. I forget who was playing that game. I feel like it was like the Giants or something. They just it was Houston and somebody else, and they just went bing.
that is hilarious.
I said hello.
Hey, listen,
I need your number immediately.
We approve of flashing the camera here if you're a lady. But wanted to be sure to get that last part in there.
Right. Roscoe Babcock was not the greatest Mighty Ducks head coach of all time. It was Bruce Boudreau, followed by Randy Carlyle. But that's
oh my God, that's right. Andy Moak did play in Dallas. I forgot Andy Moak did.
Sure did.
At the end of his career. Yeah, after he played for the Rangers too, I think. No, that was Andy. No, that wasn't Andy Moak. That was Andy Mio. Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't Andy Moog played for Boston too, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what I primarily know him for.
Yeah.
He was their goaltender when they went to the finals and lost to the Oilers.
That's correct. Yes.
He was facing off with his old buddy Grant Fuhrer because he used to be his tandem partner.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
This is ugly.
It is. You know, here's what was the final score? What was it? 4-1, I think, was the final score when Washington beat Vegas all those years back. I think that was the score. It wasn't nowhere near as bad as this, but Washington was winning. You knew they were winning.
Yeah.
Fell one game short though.
What for your pick?
Mm-hmm.
4-3. 4-3.
Holy shit! It was a lot closer than I remember. Huh?
Why does Marchessault
Well, let me see here. Oh, sorry, Matt. Brian.
No, you go, Robbie. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just going to see if it was like 4-1, and well, I mean, no, because Capitals came back. They were down 3-2 going into the third period.
Oh my God, that's right. Now I remember now. It seemed like Vegas was going to actually make a series of it, and we were all going to make jokes like, "Well, Washington's going to choke another one away, aren't they?"
I ain't busting your balls, man. I wouldn't remember any of that shit. Was there a game that day? I don't know. I don't. At least you were at the ballpark, yo.
Somebody scored 4 goals.
I wasn't even in the car yet. I wasn't. I was producing that game or that show.
Actually, yes, I think you were.
Because
I don't think Brodo was there that night. I don't think.
Was Brodo even our producer at that point?
He might have been. I forget if he was by that point or not. But let's see. Mean Metal Mike saying favorite Crosby era Penguins goaltender Fleury. It's Fleury hands down.
Pre-Crosby.
Oh, pre-Crosby. I'm sorry. Well, in the Crosby era, it'd be Fleury, but in the pre-Crosby era, Barrasso.
Same.
Barrasso, that's a good one. Ron Tugnut.
Tugnut. He did give up that goal that allowed the Flyers to win that 5-0 tier. So yeah, I got a soft spot for old Tugnut there.
Correct.
What about Kenny Reggett?
Yeah, former Flyer too. The Flyers traded him to the Penguins, and he actually had a better career there than he ever did in Philly.
How about Andy Brown, the last goalie to not wear a mask?
Oh, there you go. That's interesting. Obviously, this is in the powder blue era of the Penguins.
Yes, that was when they had like Pronovo and Silaps and Lowell McDonald and those guys.
So, question. How soon after this game do we start getting the lap dances for the Knights players?
On the ice. On the ice, right there on Johnny on the spot.
Are they all in one of the suites?
They're gonna use the cup as the actual stripper pole.
I'm not. I don't know. That's why I'm asking, because I'm gonna say once they get back to the locker room, they're all gonna be there. That's all I'm gonna say. They got one stripper for every player, and they're just gonna sit in their stall and enjoy it.
Hey, listen, Bill Foley probably went to since they're showing him now, Bill Foley probably found the classiest fucking joint he could find and got the finest ass strippers from that establishment.
These are married men.
It's okay, Rob. I don't think they're watching right now.
Probably not. Probably not.
Just because they're married men doesn't mean they can't have a little bit of free fun.
They did just win the cup after all. You can use that as an excuse.
That would excuse it, sure.
Oh, God. Well, we're 90 seconds to go here, boys, so the cup comes out.
Oh, boy. So let's see here. What else we got here in the comments? Anthony saying Tim Thomas was 100 when he went to Dallas. That's true. That was his last NHL team, if I stand correct on that. Kenny Reagan, yes. Hedberg, oh, yes. Good old Joe on Hedberg.
The Moose.
Yeah. He actually got Pittsburgh all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2001. So that was the last hurrah for them with Yogs. And then Yager went to Washington.
They scored again. I mean,
no, they didn't score.
Yeah, Vegas just scored again.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. You're ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, why? You're just delaying the cup now.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Kevin Waugh.
What's the point? You're just waiting. Literally, all you're doing is delaying the cup getting awarded to you at this point. There really is no purpose to this.
And now this is getting back to what I was saying earlier about them running up the score. Does it really need to be a 9-3 final? You clinched the cup after the second period when it was 5-1.
Well, you know what's going to happen? People are going to talk about this and say, this was the most classless victory that a team ever had in the Stanley Cup Finals. People
and I would agree.
Yeah, there was no need for that.
Like, I get it, but really, like 9-3, you spend the third period in your defensive zone and you run that clock down. There's no need for it to be 9-3. You had this game in the bag after the first period.
Pretty much, yeah.
Definitely after the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
was 6-1. I mean, it was garbage. It was garbage time the entire third period, really.
Well, Don, I don't think you should say that. He might still be around, but Anthony's saying Bob choked. I don't know if it was Bob's fault. It was more the Florida Panthers just were out. They were done. They couldn't take it anymore. Meanwhile, might say,
the celebration has begun.
Game's rigged for Vegas. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 seconds left. The Golden Knights jumping the bench before the time runs out. Obviously, the refs don't give a shit because it's over.
Oh, see, that's a too many men penalty right there.
That'd been funny if they called that. Someone's got to serve that.
Many men on the ice there.
Somebody's got to serve for the last 2 seconds.
Yeah, make it official.
Oh, that'd be funny. Anyway, so congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights. Congratulations to Tom Hetrick, our local Golden Knights fan, who is probably going to be partying now for the rest of the summer. And
who I feel good for is Jack Eichel.
Well, Eichel went through a lot.
After all the crap he went through, good for him.
Yeah, so Eichel, he is now officially he's now officially a Stanley Cup champion. I'm sure Buffalo fans might be seething just a little bit. And Phil Kessel, actually, I just realized, I forgot Phil Kessel's on this team.
Mm-hmm.
He now has 3 cups, adding to the 2 that he got in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but if you don't play in the game, does it count?
He was dressed tonight.
Yeah, he's been dressed the last few nights. He's met the minimum requirements for sure to get his name etched on the cup.
So,
okay.
But hey,
poor Mark Stahl, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, Mark Stahl, still no cup for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. He's been a trooper. He's been out. He's played a long time. Played on some good teams, just never quite got to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, past the Stanley Cup Finals. This is second loss in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, well, hey, the Sabres fans we have here saying, no, I really don't care about Eichel. Oh, okay. Hey, no hard feelings, then hey, no harm, no foul. Stone leading the way, of course, in the handshakes as they go down the line. Well, for the Panthers, hey, look at it this way. You were not supposed to be here. You got all the way here. You just ran out of gas. Just as simple as that. You just didn't have enough in the tank to get through Vegas. Vegas was ready to win.
This was their year.
Yeah, this was Vegas's year. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Vegas didn't get rattled. They didn't panic in, big time situations. In the past, Vegas was known to choke in big game situations and big match environments. The most egregious one was against Montreal. And now here they are, a couple years later after that, even missing the playoffs 1 year in between this and then, and they weren't getting rattled at any point during their time. Yeah, Winnipeg won game one, didn't rattle them. They rattled off 4 straight right after that. Then they go to the next round. They handled Edmonton just fine, and then they beat Dallas. So they had a couple of real tough teams they had to go up against, and they took care of them.
They killed Dallas.
They
did.
Coaching had everything to do with this one. Coaching had everything to do with this one. Bruce Cassidy got fired from Boston for, I feel like that was no reason whatsoever. Went to Vegas this year, his first year. I thought this was, I said it after it happened. I thought the hiring of Bruce Cassidy was a great move for Vegas, especially seeing what he did with that Boston team and seeing how much more that he had with this Vegas team. It was a matter of time that before they found this with Bruce Cassidy. I mean, obviously, Gerard Gallant did great in his first couple years with Vegas, and they fell short. And then with Peter DeBoer, again, they kind of fell short. And I feel like they got worse with Peter DeBoer than they did with Gallant. But
I agree.
He brought stability to the locker room, and you could see it all year. You saw it from game one that this team was going to be very different. So I tip my cap to Bruce Cassidy. It's a hell of a season for Vegas. I think, as much as it should have been Boston's year, to Don's point, it was Vegas's year. They were the better team. Boston's biggest problem was winning the President's Trophy.
Yep,
that is true.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
cares
they took their
about
foot
the
off the gas
President's
when they were up 3-1.
Yeah, nobody cares about the President's Trophy.
You just don't. You win the President's Trophy, you're out either in the first or second round. It's just how it works. So so Anthony's saying, I bet Boston is thinking we fucked up letting Cassidy go. Yeah, they probably are thinking that. Might be a little.
You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
I'm not going to go ahead and say that because look at the season Boston just had. It was a historic season.
Yeah, but Boston fans are probably still going to kick themselves anyway because they choked in the first round. So I'm sure that they probably are got to be saying it, though, because for them, they have to be thinking like that was our cup and Vegas stole it. They have to be thinking that. They have
I don't think they are. I wouldn't think they were. I mean, as much as I wouldn't have, based off the season that they had, and I get regular season, postseason, two completely different animals. I get that. But in that same breath, Boston choked that series away. I don't necessarily put that on coaching, which I know a lot of people will, but I don't think Bruce Cassidy was the difference in Boston's series. I think he made the difference in Vegas. Because again, Boston was a much better team this year than they were with Bruce Cassidy last year. Yeah. Much better team.
Much better.
So
they just had the unfortunate privilege of being the President's Trophy winner and being cursed.
So Anthony's saying it'll be 30-30 when we see the Flyers win the Stanley Cup. No. Anthony, get it right. It'll be 30-38. That'll be when the Flyers win the Cup. Come on now. Jeez. If you're going to do it, get it right.
And technically, none of us will see that.
No.
Right.
No.
Those happen. Ugly.
Actually, I think that's been the problem they were an issue in the conference finals as well. They were ugly hats for the championships there, too.
I don't like them. Fanatics is getting cheap.
Well, some third world countries just got a whole lot of Florida Panthers garb.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, you're right.
You got that right.
Oh,
Yeah, they
man.
did.
So if you, I was going to say if you look at a Vice documentary, but they're going bankrupt, so not them. But if you check out a documentary about some African war going on and you see a Florida Panthers 2023 Stanley Cup champion shirt, you know where it came from.
I'm glad I'm not in Vegas tonight because the sun is still up there and they're celebrating already. It's going to be a long night in Las Vegas.
For the cops, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Flights directly out of Mercer County Airport. Come on up. Let's go. Vegas, baby.
Vegas.
Listen, there's no other place. Listen, I'm going to be real with you. Like, this is going to put sports in Vegas on the map. And not that it's already not been there.
Right.
This is huge. This is going to be it's absolutely amazing for the hockey market there for them to have a cup already.
Right.
It's just going to keep building and building and building.
Just makes it further legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ted's saying I don't like them either, Brian. They should say Flyers 2023 champs.
Right.
No,
a lot had to.
Look. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, this is why I don't really shop at Fanatics anymore, and why I'd rather spend the extra buck to get the quality. It's not quality anymore. They try and be as cheap as possible with this shit anymore. Like I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I got an Eagles Super Bowl pullover that I thought looked great. I'm like, all right, cool. This looks amazing. Everything's gonna be stitched like it used to be. It's all ironed on. It's all ironed on shit anymore. Like everything is so cheap. I just can't take it anymore. Like I those hats look terrible. I'm sure the t-shirts don't look much better.
Well, the Fanatic, their contract, I believe, is going to be up, and they're going to go to who were they going to? Or no, wasn't it with Fanatics? I think they just signed the deal.
They just signed with Fanatics.
That's right. That's what happened. It was they just signed with them. So I know there was a huge problem with that, and I can understand why. If this is just a perfect example of it, like you were describing there, Bri.
Yeah, it's just cheap product anymore.
So the Conn Smythe now, we will find out who will be awarded that prestigious trophy. And obviously we put our picks in for Jonathan Marchessault all across the board. Question is, does the NHL agree with us?
I'm changing my pick.
You're going with Stone?
I'm going with Stone.
All right.
After tonight's performance.
Well, we'll find out in a minute. We just got to wait for... Where's there's Batman. I was like, where the hell's Batman? There he is.
There's the leprechaun.
Actually, you know, he does look like a leprechaun. He does look like a leprechaun, actually.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I'm a leprechaun.
I'm a leprechaun, me dear.
Don't steal my gold.
Great film. Anyway.
I was referring to Mike Myers impersonating that in Wayne's World.
In Wayne's World, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's still
That's
funny,
where my
though.
mind went.
Hey, listen, still, good choice. Good
No,
pull.
get away from me, leprechaun. No, it's okay, Garth. It's just me.
I am a leprechaun. Yeah.
Look at him wagging his finger.
What the fuck?
So, okay,
Right,
so
There you go. Marchessault is the Conn Smythe.
good.
winner.
Good. Okay, so sanity prevailed here. Yes, Stone did do something really cool in getting that hat trick tonight, but you know what? Marchessault deserves it. He very
You know what
much
that means, boys? More hits on the post because we got Marchessault on the poll.
There you go. There you go. See? We're winning all around here. This is why you bet on Vegas.
None of you betted on Vegas.
Wow,
I was the
Meatloaf.
only one.
Fuck.
Actually, yeah.
I was
I
the
didn't.
only one who picked
I
Vegas,
picked
so I don't want to
Florida.
hear that, Maddie.
Listen. Somebody did, and that's all that matters. Yes, I didn't. But you know what?
Do
I don't
not
care.
take credit for what I picked.
No, I think I will. I'm going to take credit for all of that. That was all my idea.
Oh, and here comes the Stanley Cup.
All right. So let's see. How long have we been doing this, boys?
8
First
years.
time. I think it was the Kings. It was the first time we saw with the Cup, not 2012, but 2014. And so, yeah. Holy shit. So the Kings, and then unfortunately we saw 2 years where the Penguins won the Cup, and then 2016, or was it 2015, 2016, 2017 was the or no, that was the Penguins. Oh, the Blackhawks. I forgot. Blackhawks won one after the Kings. And then
that was 2015.
Yeah, that's 2015.
2016, 2017 were the Penguins. 28
And then
was Caps. Then
Caps.
the Blues.
Then the Blues.
Lightning.
The Lightning 2 years in a row, and now Colorado last year, and this year Vegas. So those have been the guys that we have seen with the show so far being crowned Stanley Cup champions.
Good for them. This is huge for the NHL in Vegas. Like I love this for them. Like you can call it what you want, but this is just good for the market out there.
I will say this: if there are dedicated Arizona Coyotes fans, they got to be seething, because it's like, damn, could have been them if their organizations weren't so bumblefucked.
Well, that's the owner's issues. That's got nothing to do with the front office or the players. Like the
No, I get that, but the fans are still going to be upset about that in a way. It's like, damn, like they could have been the team that said hockey in the desert works. Now it's Vegas.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Like, I'm not mad at this. Like, I'm happy for a lot of the guys on this roster.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I was going to be fine with whoever won the Cup this year anyway, to be honest with you. Once the Devils got eliminated, all my worries were gone after that. I'm like, good.
Well, the Devils got eliminated and the Bruins got eliminated. So really, there's nobody left to hate on anymore.
And the Rangers got eliminated.
Oh, yeah, they got eliminated too, so. And you guys didn't make the playoffs, so that worked out okay.
Yes, you didn't have to put the effort in, so there you go.
Yeah,
I do like the pyro now too, so I think that's the kind of cool aspect they did when they changed over the Stanley Cup logo or the playoff logo.
Right. So obviously, Mark Stone gets to get the first skate.
Who gets it next?
Captain.
Who gets it next?
I would have to think he hands it off to Marchessault.
Smith.
Yeah, it's Smith. Makes sense. Smith's been there for pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, he was actually a former Florida Panther too.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was like Marchessault. He was plucked in the draft.
That's right.
So everybody takes their picture so that when they give out autographs, they all have a picture of them holding the cup in the air.
Oh, there's Marchessault.
Yeah, that's true. That was kind of why I was rooting for the Panthers a little bit too. Let's get in the game.
Carlson,
of course, Wild Bill Carlson.
Yep,
that's who I thought was getting it next.
Yeah, good for him. I wish he did it in Anaheim, but it's all good.
Let's see. And Ted's saying Vegas overtakes Flyers expansion team, fastest to win the Cup in 6 years. Vegas and Flyers 7. Post original 6 expansion.
This is McNabb's third one too.
Oh, holy shit! That's true. And then obviously Shea Theodore, former Duck, right?
Yup. Never should have made him available. Oh, never should have made him available.
Carrier.
This is Quick's third one too, as well.
It is. It is Quick's third one. Carrier. Can't think. I don't think there are any. Are there?
Alex Pietrangelo.
Alex Pietrangelo. Seconds, former St. Louis Blues, captain of the Blues, I believe, when they won.
Mm-hmm. And then he left for Vegas the following year.
Right. Another one of those big all-in moves that Vegas made. obviously paid off.
How many has Martinez won now?
This
3.
is his third.
Yeah, because he won a couple with the Kings, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Alec Martinez, yeah.
And
Alex
obviously-
Martinez, Jonathan Quick, and Braden McNabb won 3 with the Kings.
Yeah.
Right.
Or 2
And
with the
being-
Kings and then coming over here.
Yep.
And being that Quick had two already with the Kings in a much more active role, yeah, your name's on the cup nonetheless for a third time. But do you really consider this one?
It's still, I think, you know what? I think it's a feeling of, I'm happy for the other guys around me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sure,
Like a feeling
sure.
of good for them, you
You become
know?
part of the locker room, and you're just happy for the team. Got it.
Yep.
Right. I think the same thing would be for Phil Kessel, since he won 2 with the Penguins already,
That's a fair argument there, Rob. That's a fair argument there.
Yeah.
Well, just because you didn't really have a chance to really do anything, you know what I mean, with Adin Hill's
No.
fine play.
No, absolutely. Great point. Here's Eichel.
And there's Eichel. A former Buffalo Sabre, needless to say.
Yeah, everybody in Buffalo is flipping him off right now.
I guarantee. But that Buffalo did that to themselves. He wanted to stay in Buffalo. He just wanted the procedure done, and they said no. So he
Right.
said, "Fine, I'm out."
Right.
Trade me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's on Buffalo. That's not on him.
To be fair, Buffalo's rebuild with him was so borked by that time that it's just like, you know what? He made the right move leaving, because it would have taken forever for him to get back and to get into the playoffs with Buffalo. Not to say they're not doing right now, but but what you were saying, Brad, Barbashev,
His second.
Barbashev. Or Barbashev. I always think that would air his name. Sorry.
Same.
and there is the man of the hour for goaltending, Adin Hill. Boy, you imagine being Adin Hill and starting the year. Could you have imagined you would have wound up lifting the cup by the end of it? Probably not.
Or
And
how
here
about-
you are.
Or how
And you know what?
about
And
being-
probably was very highly regarded as a possible Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah.
Not even
There's
just
Phil
that,
Kessel.
Matty.
Phil Kessel just skated it out.
Nicholas Waugh.
So here, think of it this way, Matty. To kind of go even further from where you are, to be the starting goaltender throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, to be in the Stanley Cup final as a starter and perform as well as you did, there's no way he thought that. There's no way.
He
No
was
way.
spectacular in this series.
And Colasar.
White
Don
Cloud.
Don.
Finally
Yeah.
wins one.
Yeah, Don Don. Knack tripped with it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Tripped with it last year, trying to get into the photo and put a huge dent in the base of the cup.
And did it
White
happen
Cloud.
too with the Hurricanes and the Red Wings?
Probably.
have.
2 other times.
Probably.
Might have.
I wouldn't put it past any of these teams tripping and denting him on the ice. Because remember, they still pass it around for like another hour and a half after they jump off the air.
Oh, for sure.
Right, in the locker room.
Yeah, even in the locker room too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all drinking from it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of them that do it that way.
And we have Amadio, Rob's son.
Another dark horse, a guy that's the Golden Knights had plenty of those guys, the guys you didn't really ever hear of before, stepping up and making an impact. And you need that if you're going to go win the cup.
True. Brett Howden.
Why is
Those
Jackie Redmond?
unnamed heroes.
Right.
Why did
Brett
Jackie
Howden.
Redmond change again?
Former Ranger.
Yep.
Yep. And what we got here? We have Hutton, Charlie Hutton.
I love it for Marchessault. Good for him.
Yeah. So against his former team too, which is interesting.
And he had a
Tough.
good run.
Yeah.
He deserves everything that he has this year.
And Brossois. How do you think Brossois, a rookie? You know, like just starting
way to
his
start.
career.
Good
Yeah.
way to start.
And is that Thompson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Anthony, he's got 3 now.
Yeah,
Phil
Kessel. Yeah.
Oh, as soon as I say it, Rob answers it. Get out of my head, Rob.
Yeah. Cotter.
Yeah, at this
Teddy
point now
Bluger is really the guy from the Penguins. Was he on the Penguins when they won?
Kessel?
No, Teddy Bluger.
Oh, Bluger?
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
No, I don't think Bluger was on. If he was, he might have been on one of the teams. I don't think he was on both.
Okay.
Did he win 4?
Who?
Kessel. Did he win 4?
No, it's
No, it's
It's
3
three?
because he didn't win one with Toronto or Boston.
I think he did win one with Boston.
He
It
wasn't
was
on the 2011.
2011.
Wait, he was on 2011?
I think he was. I'm going to verify that now.
Yeah, check that up because I don't remember Phil Kessel being on that team.
I don't either.
I'm double checking now.
I could be wrong though.
If he did, then he obviously, I
Hey,
guess he didn't do much
a
then.
3-time winner is pretty darn good. 4
Right.
times, jeez.
Right, when most guys don't even see it once.
Yeah.
3
I think it
times,
was just, yeah.
3 times confirmed.
3, okay.
Okay.
All right, then. So with that, I believe it is time we go quick give our overview thoughts on the playoffs here in the season. Gentlemen, what did you think of this year's playoff? Like, what was your overall vibe of it now that the cup has been awarded?
I'll let one of you guys go first.
Well, for me, disappointment.
Yeah, I could understand.
Understandable.
Very understandable.
Very disappointed. I look at we beat Vegas twice I know it doesn't matter, but we still beat Vegas twice during the season. We beat Florida all 3 times we played them. I look at it as an opportunity lost. And we're wasting Panarin's prime, we're wasting Zibanejad's prime, and you're wasting Shesterkin's prime and Fox.
Is that John
Hopefully they don't
Stevens?
take too long, or time's going to pass them by, just like it did for the Knicks and Patrick Ewing. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Was one of those suits John Stevens? I swear to God,
Yes,
the guy
he
looked
is.
just like it. It was John
Yes,
Stevens?
it
Holy
is.
shit. Huh. Former Flyer head coach. So there you go.
I was actually kind of hoping that he was going to be made available for Anaheim.
John Stevens is not a bad coach. I do agree.
No, he's a good coach, and he's good with player development, and he's good with putting a good system together. He's had a lot of success as a head coach, especially with some of these young teams.
Who are all these guys in the suits?
The front office. And
They-
one
they
is
go-
the owner.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that. I don't recall celebrations where the front office guys are all holding the cup on the ice.
I think that's a more recent thing, I think, to be honest with you. I just don't think they usually broadcast it, to be honest with you. They usually cut
Okay.
it off by that point.
Yeah, TNT
Gotcha.
could have more liberties, right, with their cable programming. Yeah,
Yep.
that's another
Right.
benefit of having the cup on TNT.
Now to baseball. Robbie, your thoughts on the season, buddy?
In one word, parity. I mean, you look at the regular season, you saw in the Eastern Conference 2 91-point teams, one of them being the aforementioned Pittsburgh Penguins, missing the playoffs. And I think in the West it was 92 and 93. I think didn't the Flames have 93 points and miss the playoffs as well?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just great parity. You see Seattle Kraken making the playoffs and making noise against Colorado Avalanche.
Yep.
And then finally wrapped up by having 2 teams who had never won a cup before battling out for the cup. This is the most even, competitive league in the world. I'll just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I'm trying to think in my head, too. Last time the Cup saw the north side of the Mason-Dixon line, it's been a while. So a lot of Southern franchises have won the Cup in recent memory. Tampa won 2. St. Louis won their first. I mean, the last time would have to be Washington in 2018.
Right.
Yeah, and before then, Chicago and LA basically owned the cup for a while.
Yeah,
Right.
for a few years there.
Yeah.
So with that, my overall view of this year's playoffs, I really thought they were great. I loved the unpredictability of them. You know, it was really cool to see finally, you know, Toronto finally won a series. That was nice to see. Tampa getting knocked out, so they couldn't win a third one. You had Boston fucking up and choking away a series to Florida. That will forever be one of the best series to go back and watch, unless you're a Bruins fan. If you're somebody that hates the Bruins like me, it is one of the most enjoyable series to go back and watch. Maybe not as much as
Absolutely.
2010, but still. But and you know, the battle between New Jersey and the Rangers, I know, Brad, you don't want me to bring this up, but I will say it was nice to see the two old rivals rekindle that flame again, to see them bash each other up a little bit. It's nice to see that happen again. It had been a while. It had been a
It won't.
while.
It won't happen
And
again.
then, of course, Seattle. Okay. And then, of
What was
course,
that?
Seattle beating Colorado. I mean, that was amazing. And then Vegas going on this run, you know, I've said this before, and I believe it's true. And I think we all have said this to some capacity. You ever notice that it's the year no one expects you to do anything, that you win something? And I don't think anyone was expecting Vegas to win. Not to say that no one said that they were out of contention. No one said that. No one said that they couldn't win it. Just
yeah, but
that
after they
no one
blew
was
it,
thinking
after
they were going to
and
win it.
didn't, when they blew it last year and didn't even make the playoffs, you come back and win the cup.
Right,
That's,
but
that's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it's the year no one really thinks you're going to do anything, though. You know, like even the year Tampa won after they got beat by Columbus in the first round and they won the President's Trophy, similar to Boston. They got swept, only difference. And they wound up the next year going into the bubble, winning it, and then the next year in the weird playoff setup because of the pandemic, they won another one. So it's always when you least expect it that these teams that are still there, they're still hovering in that top spots. They come out and they start swinging when everyone's turned their back on them, figured, they had their shot. They fucked it up. They're done. They're not coming back. That's when they come back and they win something. Vegas just proved that point right here, right now. That it's like, yeah, you thought Vegas was dead. When they missed the playoffs, nope. Came right back and they did what they could always do, and that was win the cup. They finally got over the hump and they finally got it to happen.
so now the question is,
overall,
can they
enjoyed it.
keep going?
Really had fun with it. Well, we'll see. Colorado proved that it is not always capable of repeating. Not to say Colorado couldn't come back next year and win. Colorado absolutely could. If they get a goaltender, holy shit. Colorado might very well be on their road to winning another one. Who knows?
Well, they're going to have to.
After
they're gonna
losing
have
to an
figure out
expansion
what
team in their first playoff series?
They're going to have to figure out what to do with Landeskog, though.
Put him on the LTIR.
Yeah, because he's not going to be able to play next year.
True.
I mean, we're talking about a team that's in their sixth year of existence.
We all gave our
that's been to,
feelings on it.
I haven't yet. But before I jump in and do that, to go off of what you were saying, Maddie. No, you're good. We're talking about a team or an organization that's been in existence in the NHL for 6 years. They've already have 2 Stanley Cup appearances, 1 Stanley Cup win, multiple trips to the Western Conference Finals. I think they've missed the playoffs 1 time in their existence so far. They don't necessarily need to win another cup to prove anything. They've already proven a lot in 6 years. This market is showing that they're going to go to the games. this organization is showing that they're going to keep putting a good product on the ice. They're just going to keep doing it. They have a smart front office. They have a great GM. They have a good president of hockey operations over there. They're doing good things in Vegas, and they're making hockey in the desert work because, unlike Arizona, they're continually putting good product on the ice, and that's going to continue.
Right. Now,
as for the playoffs, I thought the playoffs have been very entertaining. I don't think there's really been a bad series at all out of any of them. There have been a couple big upsets that were a little unexpected, but I mean that's what makes the Stanley Cup playoffs so great is the unpredictability in it. You can't. I'm sure people have, but gotten every pick in every amount of games. Like, it's hard to do. And I think that's what makes it so awesome. And to what Rob said earlier, and I think he phrased it perfectly, the parity in this league, there's no other sport that has the spread out competitive nature that the NHL does. It's very lopsided in every other sport. The NFL, just look at the NFC. You got two really good teams and then it drops off. Major League Baseball, you have a good handful of really good teams and then it drops off. You have a lot of average teams, but the competitiveness isn't as equal. That's what makes the NHL so great, and it's what makes the Stanley Cup playoffs so great, and it's what makes the Stanley Cup the greatest trophy in all the sports. Until next year, boys, it's going to be a long summer.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don. I like that one.
And Ted saying, "That's it, Brad. What about the rest of the playoffs? You weren't impressed by what Florida did?"
Of course I was. Florida made, because Florida beat Boston, I was rooting for them to go all the way. So that was fun.
Frank saying, "Yeah, when the Eagles won the NFC, all of the FO stuff was done after the Eagles speeches wrapped up."
Yeah.
And Ted saying, "If Chicago doesn't beat the Pens, Florida misses the playoffs, and it may be a whole different story." Boy, that would have been crazy if the Pens had done this run. Then I would have been very happy to see Vegas win their first cup. Oh, thank Christ. I think we could do without the Penguins winning another one. That would be nice.
It's true, though.
Yeah, that is true. But don't blame the Penguins. They
took advantage.
They lost a lot of bad games this year.
They did. They were a bad clutch team.
Yeah. The last week of the season, the Rangers beat them 7-0 at the Garden.
Right.
I mean, that was an opportunity for them to get in the playoffs too.
Right. And Ted saying the number of overtimes in the first round was bonkers. It was. And that was another thing that I really loved about it. Lots of overtime hockey. Ted also saying, "I can't wait to see what Danny does next." Did you guys cover the Patrick Sharp joining the Flyers? Did not.
No, I was just about to say that before we went to the shootout.
But yeah, exciting news there. So Flyers now have Keith Jones, Danny B, and Patrick Sharp all in the front office. Of course, all of them former Flyers. And and all of them, two of them have analyst experience. Sharp, of course, longtime analyst for the Chicago Blackhawks. And now he was doing the NBC games right before the contract ended with them. And, of course, Jonesy has been doing National and Flyers games, God, since before forever, it seems like.
And was a player. So how long has he been in the game now? Probably 30, 40 years.
About that,
Jonesy, yeah.
And Ted saying, all the time the years Phillies won it, the year Eagles won the Super Bowl, it's always like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on to say, "You guys think Florida has a hangover next season? We go there first, so we get to root against them and have that in the standings to watch." I I don't know. Florida's going to have to look at the team in the offseason and see what they did right and what they did wrong in the playoffs. And what they did right was that they were relentless. Unfortunately, they were riding a wave of momentum, and that momentum fell apart at the end of the day. That's basically what happened there.
They
You have a
need,
bunch
they
of
need,
guys
they
coming up,
need
too.
secondary scoring. That's what they need.
That too.
You
Ted
have a bunch
saying,
of contracts up too.
ooh, so yeah, they got some decisions to make. Ted saying Brian turns heel, pulls down the Knights flag, and he's Vegas fan now.
Never.
All right. So with that, time to go to overtime. And that is brought to you by Alonzi Travel. If you got to get away, sometimes you do. I know Florida fans definitely need to get away now. Even away from Florida. They need to get away just period. So if you need to do that, Alonzi Travel is the way to go. They have an expert team in creating the vacation of your dreams, whether it be at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts create a custom vacation for you. Also, Chucks and Ritz, they are two of the MVPs of Alonzi Travel. Talk to them because those gentlemen will take care of it perfectly for you. And all you'll have to do, you don't have to plan anything out. You let them take care of that stress. All you got to do is pack up and catch the flight. That's all you got to do. Okay, then. Head on over into the shootout. And we start up with, well, I don't think we need to talk about the one shootout topic. Well,
They
actually,
were updated. Never mind.
I'm sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
You might be looking at an old one, Maddie. We updated the Ranger one because Lobby got the job.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Hold on a second. Okay, so I got to pull up the other email. My bad. So
The problem, I could support you. You don't have to do it alone.
okay then. Thank you.
What we
Rob.
replaced
yes, please
that-
be my support.
I will. I got your back, baby. I got your. We're line mates here. You know, what's it called? We're one guy short. We need one more short for a full line right here. But anyway, what we replaced our first shootout topic with is name the team that will earn the 2024 number 1 overall pick. In other words, who will be the worst team in the league, and so to speak, in the 2023-24 season?
The Sharks.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
I can't say it because I'd be accused of being homerish.
I was originally gonna say Columbus, but they really upgraded their defense over the last week, so it's not gonna be them. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Arizona again, especially if they don't get Clayton Keller back, and what has been said is held true.
I'll roll with Montreal.
Oh, that's a good pick too.
That is a good one.
Was that LJ Lava is trolling you saying the Ducks, Brian?
I wouldn't hate it, but I don't think they're gonna be.
And she's not. I mean, yeah, you know. I mean,
hey, if what Dylan sent me is true, Adam Fantilli might be going back to Michigan, so we might not have him this year.
Ooh.
So it's a possibility. It is a possibility.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you still can draft him.
Oh yeah,
we're still going to draft him.
You know,
absolutely.
You know what the problem is, though.
He's not going to be the organization.
It'll only be a matter of time.
Ted, yes, I do think Bedard will play.
Absolutely.
But I will also say, honestly, I think the Ducks would probably lose the lottery again, to be honest with you. They've already lost it twice. I think they'll make the hat trick.
Probably not, because there's not a guy like Connor Bedard or Sidney Crosby next year's draft. So we'll probably get it.
Oh,
I got
so
a team that might.
you'll win it the year
Okay.
you didn't want to win it. Okay.
Right. Here's a team I'll throw out that might surprise some people. I think the number one recipient will be the Vancouver Canucks. It's going to get worse before it gets better with that rebuild.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
That's a good sleeper pick right there. Good sleeper pick, because Vancouver is, kind of Disasterville right now for them.
They are, but here's what's kind of making me not a believer in that. They have a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah.
If they can get Demko to be, healthy, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll have a top 10 pick for sure. But I don't know if they wind up all the way back to number one. But crazy shit happens, so you never know.
I'm just trolling Dan Mindel right now. That's all I'm doing.
He does it it's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
Ted's
JT
saying
with
if
back-to-back
Mishkov
triples.
is there, do the Flyers bite?
No. Too many question marks. He's a tremendously talented player. There's no doubt about that. He's a scorer. But between his KHL contract and Putin's Russia, you don't know when he's coming over, if he's even going to be able to come over. Now, if you're a team that's just heading into a rebuild, maybe you take the chance. But if I'm the Flyers, I don't take a chance at all.
Right. At first, when I read that comment, I was shaking my head. Yes, I thought I read it as Dalibor Dvorsky. If he falls, I think they bite.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Mitchkov, no. Too much.
Mitchkov. He's going to fall into the second round.
Saying 2024 top pick as compared to Austin Matthews.
It's not bad. That's not a bad comparison. It's a 60-goal scorer.
Let's go. Flyers are building up a lot of draft capital in the 2024 draft, too. Let's go.
They are. I think they got, what, two draft picks in 2024 in the first round?
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. So
maybe Maddie, maybe the Flyers should win the number one, or try. Oh, they'll never win the number one pick, but maybe they should try to really be sucky if this guy's going to be an next Austin Matthews. Maybe we should page our answer to the Flyers.
Yes. Just send a quick DM over to Danny. Be like, Danny, tank like you've never tanked before. Tank like it's a fucking military parade.
Right.
Four firsts in the next 2 years for the Flyers.
Yeah, exactly. And Brad was saying before too that if you do trade Hart, Coots, TK, they might not have to try too hard to get to that level. Yeah.
Load up.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not going to do that, though. Yeah. That would be like what the Sixers did. You don't want to get to that point.
Nah. We talked about how it's important to keep some of these guys around as you rebuild earlier. So
yes,
for sure.
Okay. I believe we all gave our choices, right, for the top pick for next year. All right, then. So, Robbie, what is next on the docket for the shootout?
Next on the docket, I got Rick Tocchet on the mind. Next on the docket, the 2024 Stanley Cup champ will be.
All right, I'll go. I'm going to say they come back pissed off because of what happened in the first round to them. Colorado wins their second cup in 3 years.
You said that right. That's what you were saying earlier.
I think it'll happen. Right. Tampa did the same thing when they got swept by Columbus. They were fucking furious, and they came and steamrolled their way to winning their first cup since 2004. So, yeah, I think Colorado will do the same. They got the talent to do it.
I'm going to say the Rangers. I
Okay.
love the hiring of Peter Laviolette, and we know that they're going to make some changes in the lineup. I think it's going to be the Rangers.
I agree. I think they're going to come storming out next year.
Yeah,
They're going to be on a mission next year after what happened this year.
And very kind of similar to what I was saying with Colorado. Very upset with what happened in the first round. Pissed off, coming out swinging.
Exactly.
Yep. I think they're going to make the necessary changes they need. I think they brought in a very good coach who's going to help that offense just as well as the defense.
Yeah.
I love Lavi.
They need to be able to score 5-on-5. That's something that they have to fix.
Yeah.
Can't just rely on the power play all the time.
Right.
Nope. I'm siding with the Rangers.
All right, so we got 2 Rangers, a Colorado Avalanche pick for myself. Robbie, master of ceremonies for the shootout. Who do you have?
I have the Dallas Stars will win the 2024 Stanley Cup.
That's a good pick.
All right, then. So Dallas comes back, takes the lessons that they've learned and applies them and corrects the course and wins this time.
Remember, as much as they have a lot of vets on that team, they have a lot of youth too, and they want the youth to take over. So this experience is going to be nothing but good for guys like Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, and Jake Ottinger. So it's a good pick.
Ottinger, you're Conn Smythe. Pitching in the finals.
Okay.
Bag.
Lil Yava saying Seattle, which would be crazy if Seattle won it. Literally, you have the first of the most recent expansion teams this year, and then Seattle wins it next year. Holy shit.
Oh, God.
I think the whole league might quit.
Yeah. The whole league might want to start all over again and just dump their whole roster and
I mean,
start fresh.
With what Seattle's done in the last couple seasons, LJ, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, dude, if Seattle even gets back to where they were this year. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Ted saying, what Canadian team is hard in net for or still a flyer? Still a flyer. I'm not even broaching that subject. Still a flyer, damn it. The hell with trading him.
I agree. I think it would be a mistake.
We don't want
franchise goalies do not grow on trees. It's like trying to get a franchise quarterback. It's very, very hard to find a top goaltender.
This kid can fly. Who is this kid? He just had a stand-up triple. Sorry. ADD kicked in.
Okay.
My bad.
And Ted saying, does Subban join the show because he sucks on TNT?
He doesn't. He's not on TNT, thank God. He's on ESPN.
I don't know.
He does suck.
I don't know if he'll be joining us. I don't think PK would join us. I think he big time us, to be completely honest with you. No one. Yeah, I think that's what he'd do. We might get Malcolm Subban. I don't know if we get PK.
Mr. Fashionista on ESPN. Yeah, we don't want. I mean, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I don't want him on the show.
No. No, we don't need Jesse Ventura Jr. on the show.
Mister, I'm on ESPN. I'm going to have my entire chest out for no reason.
Yeah, he stole Jesse Ventura's little dress that he used to wear to when he'd wrestle. Remember when he used to wear that fur thing?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then.
Well, Yava saying he's an average goalie, not a franchise goalie. I will disagree with you, good sir.
He's slightly above average on a bad team. So when he ends up having a good team, he'll be slightly better than slightly better.
Right.
So
agreed.
All right. So one last thing on the docket. Robbie, take it away.
Every week, hot take. What's your hot take from this year's or the hot take of the playoffs this year, next year, whatever it may be?
I'll start. Hot take of the playoffs. We will see a Stanley Cup Finals that will be very expected next year. we're going to get a backlash for this year. This year was so unpredictable. Next year will be predictable. As much as I don't want to see it, we will have a predictable Stanley Cup final next year.
Rangers, Colorado.
Something like that.
Rangers, Edmonton.
Oh, that's what came to my mind first. That I shit you not.
I'm sorry.
I'm seeing it.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm excited because I think that might come to that could very much.
I think
what a fucking final that would be.
I think awesome. Edmonton's gonna come out crazy angry next year. Because this was their Stanley Cup to win.
Right. Good call.
And they're gonna go out this year and they're gonna find somebody and they're gonna get rid of Darnell Nurse. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna get rid of him, and they're gonna get themselves a real defenseman.
They'll find a way.
Yes, they will. Or they'll keep him. They'll keep him, and then they'll continue to stink. So,
right.
But I think that's going to be the key. Buy that you know what out. Get your money and go get yourself a real defenseman.
All right. We gotta wrap this up quick. My laptop's about to die, so my charger's upstairs. So we gotta wrap this up. So for me, I think my hot take is going to be the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a battle of New York, and it's like a two-parter. We're going to see on the Eastern side, we're going to see a lot of new teams in the playoffs next year.
Nice.
Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit. I think they're all going to make noise and they're all going to find a way to get in the playoffs.
Nice.
All right, then. And, okay. So Lil Yavase and Bruce missed the playoffs. And then Ted's final comment is, this may sound dark, but imagine we take Mishkov at 22 and he dies in the war. Well, I don't want to sound even more morbid, but I would be the first one to levy a complaint. I want that pick back. So, it's like,
we're in simpatico, man. We're in simpatico. That's my hot take, that the Bruins will miss next year's playoffs after winning the President's Trophy and losing in the first round this year.
That would be so poetic justice.
Yeah.
And real quick to Ted's comment, I don't know what it's like over in Russia, but I don't know if he's even old enough to serve. By the way, Fedotov, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I think his duty's done, and he's going to be able to come over sooner than. Nice. So, I think I saw that he served his 1 year, and I think he should be available to come over soon.
If that would certainly spark the Carter Hart trade talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen. That will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. It is our final of the postseason because the cup was awarded tonight. Once again, one last congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights for winning it. And also a congratulations on the Florida Panthers for actually surprising everybody and getting as far as they did and giving us a chance to point and laugh at Boston. That's pretty much the main reason for me. Anyway, we thank you all once again for joining us. For everyone who chimed in the fam, all the new members we have, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. The NHL might be done for the season. We're not, because we will be covering the draft. We'll be covering off-season previews. Of course, we'll be talking about all the major trades and happenings with the Flyers and the front office and whatnot. We'll be covering all of that stuff. And we might do some fun shit on top of it in the off-season, because every now and again, you like to do some fun shit, right? That's always important to do. One last time, we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. Any aches and pains, go see the doc at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Next year, we will see what happens. We will see if any of our Stanley Cup predictions came true, or if we're just talking out of our ass because it's way too early to predict these things. We'll find out. But as the offseason comes in and the draft builds up, stick with us. We'll cover it right here on A2DRadio.com. From all of us, you stay safe, you stay healthy. Peace and love, everyone.